A channel lights the calm relay. Stories unfold in the softest sound. In the night watch, we're tightly bound. A cozy vibe whispers through the stream, like drifting slow inside a dream. Conversations linger late and free. The night watch is the place to be. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. A laugh, a thought, a quiet tale. The night breathes slow, we set our sail. Through every chat and every laugh we weave a stream, a timeless path. Stay while the stars are bright, each word a spark that paints that night. Connection deep, it soars and sings. In this space, the heart takes wings. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Night Watch, or good day, good morning, wherever you may be. Here it's evening, and it's a Night Watch, and we're a little bit past the longest days here, so it's actually dark out now, like it was when I first started doing these. And, Stop the Stupidity right off the bat is dropping green. Hello, Scott. Thanks for joining me. Scott might be away. But Stop the Stupidity is gifting 5 captive desk memberships, and I need to check the thing. It hasn't been working.
I thought it named names.
Okay, all right, it did work today. All right, they fixed it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for I mindlessly stepped away so I could let my dog in, and
That's all right.
And you said my name as I was at the door, and went, "Oh no!"
I was just saying hi, and I was about to tell Stop the Stupidity something.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
You rock, Stop the Stupidity. Great supporter of the channel. Much appreciated. I'm sure so will the folks that got the gift memberships. And that was Rainbow Ash.
Yeah, when they find out they can send some answers in atheism toast emojis to the chat, they'll love it.
They absolutely will. Christopher, Sydney Raptor, Austin Sims, and Native Atheist. Hey, that was well done. Well done, Stop Stupidity. And yeah, you folks can drop those emojis now. And thank you very much, Stop the Stupidity. Yeah, and Scott and I were just talking for a minute that, man, it's been hot here again and just really impossible to do anything. But Scott got a little break with some clouds, which was nice. And I'm hoping for some little more seasonal weather coming up. This summer's just been miserable trying to do anything. You go out for a few minutes and that's it. You know, you gotta go back in front of the AC and fan, whatever you got. It's just miserable. So I hope everybody's staying hydrated in these areas. And yeah, hello to all my fellow cockroaches out there. I heard, I think it was, I think this is the woman that Pixie was talking about, wanted me to check out a prophetess. Is there a thing for women that do that? Anyway, she talks to God. Prophetess. She talks to God, or God talks to her, whatever, you know, like in her car usually. So I was looking at it, and so anyway, I heard cockroaches earlier, and so it was on my mind. So I put up the cockroaches. So, and yeah, hello everybody dropping in. Good to see everybody. Fox is in here. Good to see you, Fox. Simos, hello, Simos. You want to come in? I can get you a link if you want to drop in. I don't want to keep you up or anything. Stay up on account of me. Rainbow, good to see you. Yeah, you just got a membership. Awesome. Seth, of course, Tilting Windmill. Jasper. And I think I'm back up. As I was asking Seth, I think I saved his video talking about that Christian nationalist. What's his name, Doug or something? Holy moly!
There's quite a few Christian nationalists named Doug.
It's this pastor dude or something that Hegseth is going to his church.
Oh, Doug Wilson.
That's the one.
I was listening to this two-part of Behind the Bastards podcast, and he just did a two-parter on Pete Hegseth's book, American Crusade, which is the worst named book you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And he kind of outlined Hegseth's relationship with Doug Wilson.
Oh, Doug Wilson. That's the thing Erica just did something on, Doug Wilson?
I'm not sure. A bunch of people have been doing it, though. It's all over. Yeah. And Deconverted Man sent me the CNN interview, and yeah.
I think Erica just did a thing on it, or at least one came up for my.
Yeah.
Let me see.
How about Erica Gutsick Gibbon or a different Erica?
Gutsick Gibbon.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, maybe it was an old one that just popped up on my feed. Let me check. I know.
Seth is ambushed apostate there. Yeah, he just had a short up about it out of that CNN clip, that interview. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people are covering it.
Also, Zach is on with Rebecca, I think. I'm not sure if they're still on.
Uh-oh.
Let's see here. Are they still on? Yeah, that's going to be fun. That could be a real fun one.
Well, I'm glad to see Zach back around a little bit. He's been doing other stuff, and I was like, "Hey, Zach, good to see you." So, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute! I think they delayed it. It looks like it got delayed.
Oh, did it?
I don't know. Well, maybe.
What got delayed?
I haven't seen anything for it.
Oh, no, Rebecca's on with Zach right now.
Yeah, it's
Zach
on Examining Origins. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's happening right now. Let's see here. What else?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna have fun with her. I gotta watch that because I want to see how she handles him. Because I know how she handles me. It's just a story. You're just telling a story. Blah blah.
Yeah. Rebecca's Bread of Life, Rainbow Ash. And she also has Examining Origins. And basically she's a young earth creationist, and she just wants to argue with everybody. And I mean, she's nice enough and everything, but she hangs around with the likes of Sal and Otangelo and repeats all that young earth stuff. Hello, Rochelle. Good to see you, Rochelle.
Erica did that thing on the Christian nationalist Wilson, whatever his name is, 9 months ago. So it just came up on my feed for some reason. So it must have known.
Objective Ethics is in here. Good to see you. Yeah, I saw Seth's. Like I said, I saw Seth's short, and I had seen the full version. Deacon Verdeman was on it, sending it to me. Did you see this? And it's like, so I wanted to mention it.
Did you see what he said about slavery? Is that Doug Wilson? Is that who it is, or somebody else?
Yeah.
Did you see what he said about slavery? He said it was the warmest relationship. It was just all cuddly. It was just such a cuddly relationship that these Southerners had with their slaves. I mean, it was just, all hugs and kisses. And it was, he really defended it in a big way. Which, what is he talking about?
A lot of Southern, I guess you would call them conservative racists or whatever, have this myth in their head that it was a good life for the slaves.
Right.
It wasn't bad for all of them. Most of them had it good. And I remember a deacon in the church where I first became a Christian way back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Talking about that. He had a grandfather who owned one slave, and he was just like a member of the family. They loved him, and he loved them, and blah, blah, blah. Which, for one thing, it's just totally clueless in terms of what slavery is. You're a part of the family until you decide you want to take your family somewhere else, and then that's when it gets ugly, and that's when it gets harsh. And just because you're not beat to death every day doesn't mean you have it good. Slavery obviously denies the dignity and autonomy that every human being should have. If you have the right to a personal autonomy, then everybody else does too. That's how it works. But what a racist piece of shit. They both were.
Hold on a second here. Here's hello Simos. How you doing?
Hey. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Simos.
Right, dropping in. Good to see you. Good to see you. I
feel like Simos needs some sort of theme song. Like when he enters the yard, he needs a theme song.
Okay.
Some British,
we'll work on it.
Some old British rocker song or something.
Even if it's just a little background or something like that,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like a brass, a trumpet, a fanfare. That's what they call it.
And make sure you subscribe to Ambush Apostate and give this the likes and all that stuff. But I don't think he'll mind. This is what the little snippet out of the CNN thing.
Did somebody link the channel up here and I missed it? Yeah, somebody
Christian
did.
nationalist Doug Wilson is back in the news again for saying unhinged things.
Can you hear it?
If you're unfamiliar with him, he's the pastor of Christ Church in Moscow, Idaho, and he has influence over millions of other Christian extremists and other cult leaders in this country. So let's take a quick look into Wilson's worldview and see what he's pushing off as true Christianity to thousands of pastors who then turn around and preach it to my family and yours from the pulpit.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's Theo? In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ. Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
Demos, apparently.
So you just think they're meant to have babies. That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
And he is dead serious. If you're wondering how far his reach truly is, he's the pastor of the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it right there.
Oh my. Yeah, this guy's views on women and church and the state are really, really horrific. Scares the hell out of you.
Yeah, when folks are dismissive and stuff, remind them it's like, he has this guy's ear, right? And this thing here moved his family to Tennessee so that kids could go to this guy's schooling thing or whatever. Yeah, they're making another generation of them.
Is that AI generated? Or
No.
that he's actually got that tattoo? Isn't that
Yeah.
isn't that what is that
Yes.
tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the guy I can't remember the guy's name, Robert something, on Behind the Bastards podcast. I think the most 2 recent episodes talked about his tattooing. That he tries to minimize it or say that it meant a certain thing before the Nazis got hold of it or something like that. So I guess he claims to be pre-Nazi.
Pre-Nazi, that's better.
Calling in there before the Nazis or something. Yeah, he's just a piece of crap.
Yeah, pre-Nazi, so much better.
So, hello, Ollie. Elbows up. Good to see you.
Oh no, I don't believe
And
he's got that.
Ryan's in here. What's up, Ryan? Good to see everybody.
Oh. Can I come live over your place, Simos? Can I come live over there?
You can try. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to arrive by boat apparently these days to get the best deals.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd fly again to England.
Fair enough.
They put me in coach and had the. I think if I was a spider, I would have had enough leg room, but if they pack any more seats into those goddamn planes for overseas flights, people are going to start to die of suffocation.
Yeah.
What is the significance of the Iron Cross? I just don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, he's had, kids with other women when he's married and then he says, oh, Jesus, this and that. And it's really sickening, I mean, I'm not even religious and I'm offended. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not a good person to be throwing out the Jesus card. You're just not. You're just not. It's just really, it really bothers me.
And he has ties with AIT with Ken Ham. That Wilson guy.
The whole thing is a big ugly web. Yes.
Yeah, it's a big ugly web. And I think we're caught in it, and we just don't realize it yet because we're stupid insects.
Well, speaking of stupid, I've had this video, and it's a little bit long, but I figured if we don't stop too much, we can get through it. And because you just got to hear it. So anyway,
yeah,
we're gonna listen to this video, and It's like it's like 6 minutes, which is about I try not to go over 5 minutes. But this one's
that's a 3-hour show for us.
it's a 3-hour show, yeah. So we'll try and run it a little bit before I stop, okay?
Well, it's time for one of those changes that I mentioned. I'd like to just speak briefly on a subject that is called Christian apologetics. And I think over the coming weeks we'll continue that theme. Apologetics does not mean apologizing. Apologetics comes from a Greek word, apologia, which means a verbal defense. So what we are doing when...
Okay, we're good to go there.
They should apologize. They should apologize.
But yeah, we know what the word means. We hear it all the time. Yes, be prepared with a defense. Unless you don't want to, then you just cast the dust off your feet or something and walk away. So I don't. That's another contradiction, right? Are you supposed to say, "Hey, I'm going to defend my faith," or are you supposed to say, "Hey, I'm just gonna pearls before swine" or something at you? So. I don't know which one it is. But anyway, I get the point. Here we go.
We practice apologetics is actually defending our faith, explaining why we believe what we believe as Christians.
Right.
There's a
now, fair enough. So now you got to do that.
Why do they have to defend their faith? Nobody's bugging them. Just go to your church. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What are they defending?
Now, see, here's the thing. The idea of apologetics obviously has been institutionalized and expanded beyond what was really necessary. There's a example in 1 Peter 3:15. That's the famous one. Always be ready to give an answer, apologia, that's the word, apologia, answer, to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. Why don't they talk about that? Wait till you're asked, and then
There you go. Yeah.
Don't start broadcasting how everybody who doesn't believe is a fool. Blah 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 blah. Nobody asked you. What you need to do is wait till you're asked about the hope that you have, not about your ideologies, your twisty, turny, pretzel hermeneutic. Trying to reconcile the Old Testament with the New Testament or interpret the Old Testament to fit the New Testament. Just if somebody asks you, hey, where do you get your hope from? Where's that little, sparkle of positivity? How do you get that? Then go ahead and tell them. But otherwise, keep your mouth shut. Nobody wants to hear from you. Okay, that was a little therapy for me. I do apologize.
You put that in the footnotes. Be all set.
Yeah.
So
I think when I was growing up, that's kind of the way it was. I mean, people just went to church and they never talked about it. They never put it in your face. They never asked you about it, or you never asked them about it. It's like, what's wrong with that? Why don't they go back to that? Loki, what is up?
Yeah, they didn't. I guess it's because they didn't feel quite so threatened.
Yeah, I think they're threatened because they're threatened by reason and logic, and it just bugs the hell out of them that there are thinking people that don't believe the same thing they believe.
Like Catholics, for instance.
Don't give too much of this away.
Okay.
phrase I want to mention, and I probably will mention several times in the future: criticism without an alternative is empty.
All right, Simos. Can you criticize something without having a counter?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. In fact, it is a logical fallacy to say that because I don't believe what you are saying to be true, then therefore I must have an answer to the question which you're posing.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Someone tells you that.
Sorry, another aspect of that word. apologetic to give a reasoned defense of is that you don't just hear a whole lot of reason. It's just I feel, I think, this is my, there's a lot of subjectivity that people give in their discussion of religion. So you hear from a lot of apologists on YouTube, but in real life, it's just, you might as well say, I like the color green versus I'm a Christian. They don't, there's not a whole lot of depth out there. And I guess people haven't had to think about what they believe and why they believe, and is it logical and is it true?
That your faith is foolish. Someone tells you that you believe in fairy tales. Someone tells you that your faith is blind or based on ignorance.
Sometimes.
Ask them.
Incredulity, I guess.
Yeah.
I think this is projection. Like, they're afraid that the reason is going to seep into their own minds, and they feel it's seeping in, right? Because, like, if you believed in Santa Claus every day, I think it would, like, seep in reason and rationality, and it would bug you. And I think that's what bugs them. So they're projecting. It's like, we don't care about them, but they're having their own internal struggle. And that's why they're so loud about it, the way it seems to me.
Yeah, I've always felt that, like, there are things I've done in my life, and I think back and I think that was so stupid. Like, why the hell would I do that?
Yes.
And sometimes these things are so stupid that I'll wake up in the middle of the night, suddenly in a sweat, going, "Oh, I did that, didn't I? Oh,
That
fuck,
was stupid.
that was so
Yeah.
stupid." And I think
Yeah.
that's the kind of feeling that they edge towards
Yeah.
when they hear someone talking like too much sense about why their most dearest held belief might be wrong, because they think, "Oh, I could be that stupid."
Yep.
What up, Azzo? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so this, he's just getting warmed up. Here we go.
What do you believe? Because if they don't have an alternative, then their criticism is empty.
Yeah,
Here's an example.
we already settled that.
Up until some decades ago, certainly 100 years ago, scientists were absolutely convinced that the whole entire universe had no beginning. It was just always. It was always here. No particular explanation.
Right?
Yeah. Can I just say two things? Firstly, in some sense, because they were all Christian, they had some reason to believe that the universe was eternal.
Right.
I.e., God's eternal. So, like, there are things out there which are eternal, and the universe could be one of them. I don't think anybody said it is eternal. I think they just said this is the most likely explanation, which is not saying that it is such. It's just saying that my guess would be such. And I do think that, again, they had some, some things which may have pointed in that direction. Certainly it looks very strange. Back then, of course, they didn't even understand how the sun worked. All right, Kelvin, a great scientist, Christian, famous for thinking that the sun, the Earth couldn't be that old because the sun is probably made out of coal, and the size it is, it would burn out within 5,000 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, scientists, right? Oh, there you go.
Chris is in here. Good to see you. And Standard Deviation. Good to see you. And hey, Tori's dropped in. Hello, Tori. Good to see y'all. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, and then, but see, here's the point that where I would have stopped and said, well, yeah, right up until this point, well, we just didn't have good technology. We didn't have good telescopes. We didn't have all the stuff that's been discovered in the 20th century. But then he's going to point it out next and totally miss the point.
Starting during sometime in the middle of the 20th century, scientists were able to measure the distances more accurately to the stars.
See?
What do you mean we got better?
we figured out how to get better measurements.
Figure out how to get
Before
better?
that, they just didn't have, the technology yet,
Yeah.
So that's the well, of course,
It's almost like we're inventing new technology,
Yeah. And well, with the redshift and everything, that all that was discovered, all that stuff's all 20th century. So sorry. Maybe God should have gave us better telescopes a couple thousands of years ago.
Yeah,
like maybe we wouldn't.
Million years ago, we thought that the only way you could eat meat is to eat it raw, and then we invented fire, and then we scientists figured out fire, and since then, what's his point?
Jedi stopping in, good to see you, and so was Jasper dropping emojis, tilting windmill drop. I like seeing the emojis. And it keeps telling me I need a few more to get another emoji. So I don't know. YouTube's kind of silly. So,
see, that's what they do is they give you a few free emojis, and then boom, you're hooked. You got to do more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully one of these days we'll get another emoji, because I don't know. I don't know why we don't have another one, but we'll see. Anyway, it's all good. I can always change them around or something if I want to. We'll see. What's next? All right, come on, get on the arrow. Thank you.
And what they discovered is that the universe is expanding. It's moving away.
Yep.
And that expansion is slowing, like stretching a rubber band.
No. Isn't it speeding up? Isn't that like the opposite?
The latest, I mean, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. The jury is still out on it. Krauss's work that he did in the 90s said that it was still accelerating.
I think it is.
Yeah, there's this thing called eternal inflation, which seems to be the most current view or consensus view. But it's still not. We don't know. Still don't know, because we haven't even worked out what dark energy is yet, whether that is the cosmological constant or not. And if it's not, there could be some eternal inflation may not be true.
Yeah, Chris says the theists will accept our reasoning to theists, because you got the woo-woos. Well, yeah, there's just two, and as Simon was saying, well, we don't really know. That's like, okay, well, why don't we wait till we find out about that? It's a lot easier than saying, well, for all this long. We'll find out.
Yeah, hopefully, if the Christians don't stop, all of the experimental devices that America would normally be building by now, but they're leaving it to China and to Europe, as always, to sort this stuff out. But yeah, by now America could have got the answer. But unfortunately, under Reagan's administration, they decided not to fund science.
Bad science.
And until it gets tight, and then it will snap back.
Maybe.
What?
They called.
Talking about big bounce. Talking about big bounce, and
No, it gets tight.
Either way, that isn't how that works. But
yeah, that isn't how it works. It doesn't get tight and snap back like a rubber band. Is that what
yeah, that's not it.
Anyway. That's what they taught you. That's what they taught him in his physics class. It's like a rubber band.
It's tight.
And that was the end of physics class.
That kind of like the theory was that eventually there'd be enough gravity in the universe to stop the expansion, and then things would gradually pull back in on the point again, and that would be how the cyclical kind of system worked.
Yeah, instead of using a rubber band, why didn't he just like use the analogy of throwing a ball up in the air as fast as you can?
Runs out of energy.
It stops because of the force of gravity, and it begins being pulled back down to the earth. That seems, a much better description of that whole thing.
Yeah, but even with dark energy, or dark matter, I should say, it seems unlikely that that's the way it's going to work. It's more likely that the universe is going to keep expanding until there's there's
going to reach a point, and this is depressing. There's going to reach a point where a human, if humans are still around, looking up at the night sky, won't see anything.
Right, yeah.
Because the stars are all just too far away. The universe has expanded way too much. That we're kind of living in a special zone where we can get a lot of good information from the universe to know about the nature of the universe. Asking questions about, are there other planets out there? Well, just to some new strain of human in the far, far flung future, they won't even be able to ask that question because they won't have stars to wonder if there are, planets around.
Well, potentially. There is a large group of there is a large cluster of galaxies which are gravitationally bound. Of course, us and the Alpha Centauri, whichever cluster that's in, I can't remember the name of it. That they were very closely bound. So it's going to be a long, long time into the future if eternal inflation is true, and there is going to be a heat death of the universe. It's going to be a long, long time before we lose sight of the stars around us. But we certainly won't have the visuals of things which aren't gravitationally bound, stuff which isn't in our local cluster group. So it's not going to be very difficult to work out that the universe had a beginning. Right? It's just going to seem more and more like it's an eternal universe. The longer time goes on.
Has anybody looked into that Roger Penrose something conformal cosmology? I can't remember what the first C is. Where he basically says the death of one universe is the Big Bang of the next, version of it. That it's essentially like a big bounce, except a universe. The universe essentially dies, but that because of the nature of conformal geometry or something, that becomes the Big Bang for the next go round. It's pretty interesting, but very speculative, and I don't know what to make of it. I saw a thing or two about it on Phil.
That over Phil's. Sorry, you just cut off there, Scott.
Off. Yeah.
Yeah, you cut off right there. You were at Skydiver Phil, I think.
Yeah, Skydiver Phil. Yeah, great channel. Everybody check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, cyclical conformal.
Okay, cyclical. Good. I could not remember that.
That was the first word, but I can't remember the last word. So between the two of us,
yeah, cyclical conformal cosmology.
That's the one. Yeah. It's all still speculative, as you're saying, because we just don't have, we still don't have, we still don't know what dark energy is, whether it is or not the cosmological constant, and we haven't found the particle of dark matter, so we still don't know what that is. And then, of course, we don't have the unification of quantum mechanics and relativity still. So all of that is still speculative, and it will be for some time to people even much more educated than I could ever be. That's it. Sorry, go ahead.
Expansion, the cause of this expansion, the Big Bang. You might say, oh, we're Christians, we don't believe in the Big Bang. Well, I believe in the Big Bang. I believe that when God claps, it makes a big bang.
Hey, real quick.
Wow.
He's saying the cause of the expansion is the Big Bang, but no, the Big Bang is the expansion, right? Isn't that
Yes.
really how it is? Okay,
That's
so
how it's
so he's got the
used, yeah.
cause wrong. He's got whatever the science thinks the cause is wrong.
Yeah.
And that's really what the essence of the Big Bang. I believe in the Big Bang because I know who caused the Big Bang. So this
Yeah.
is
Citation
easy
needed.
for us as
Yeah.
Christians.
Also, no,
No,
you don't believe in a Big Bang because you know the cause of it. You believe in the Big Bang because the evidence points to that, or the model that you're using has the most supporting evidence. So his thinking is all wrong.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I want to make
Because
a
we can read the first.
I'm sorry. I know every time you hit the button, I end up saying something.
That's
But
all right.
I just get the feeling that he's going to try to quote, because I don't know quite how old he is, but I know he must be old enough to have heard this cliche. There's an astronomer named Robert Jastrow that wrote an article about the Big Bang in Reader's Digest, I believe it was, where he's the end of the article is something about all the scientists climbed the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
No, all the mystics climbed the mountain to find out that the scientists were there already, or something like that. Basically,
Other way around, yeah.
that the Big Bang was God's way of creating the universe. And I'll bet he quotes Robert Jastrow on that because a lot of people have.
Verse of the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is biblical fact for us. Can argue over a whole lot of things that come around that, but the fact is, we know that God is the creator.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
hang on. Yeah, citation needed, but also it's a bit vague saying heavens, isn't it? Like for the same amount of period that these scientists thought whatever he said earlier about scientists thinking, about whatever it was. Sorry to be vague. For the same period of time, people thought the heavens, right, were a dome with lights on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then so this is your point that you made earlier, and then of course the people thought that when they finally worked out that the Earth wasn't at the center, right, because of because of the wandering stars, then of course they realized that they thought that the heavens were just the solar system, right, with the lights around them, around the outside, and then of course after that, when they worked out that there was a galaxy, right, because science, then they worked out that the heavens must be the galaxy, and that's that, right, and that's where the stars are. They're just in this swirling galaxy, and then somebody worked out that actually there's a lot of galaxies, and then the heavens suddenly become a lot of galaxies, and now you're thinking to yourself, well, this God is a bit profligate, isn't he? I mean, we're here, right? He big banged in order to create us, his special relationship creature. And my word, he actually made a hell of a lot of different, galaxies. And why? Why would he do that? He didn't need to. So profligate, I think so. Is it just a coincidence that actually every time science has found out something new about how the heavens go, the Christians just go, oh, well, God did that?
And it depends how it's used too, because some of them use, the heavens are just where the birds fly around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So
with a dome, right? The heavens with a dome.
Yeah.
With the lights
and
on.
And hey, hello, the mighty Filbert and Tux TV. Good to see you,
Oh,
Tux.
fantastic. Spooky's got one.
You got Spooky too?
Yeah, and Ella as well. Thank you.
And-
Fantastic. And Mark. God, this is a star-studded list. And Leo.
We've got Stop the Stupidity dropping green again in here too.
Wow.
Stop the Stupidity. Thank you very much.
What does she do?
You know what? We only have one thing to say for all the great folks around here that support the channel, like Stop the Stupidity.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the skies, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
We say you rock. And who is on the list? Let's see. There we go. Yeah, Spooky and Drusilla and Elamino. I love that name. Mark Reed and Leo Filius. Thank you very much. And hello, Simply Secular Dave. Good to see you as well. Bear with me because I got to switch between channels. Okay. Thank you very much, Stop the Stupidity. And everybody enjoy your emojis and previews to my videos and member streams. You know, those extra things you get, right? And
Hey, Dave, why don't you drag me down to the bottom of our little stack here so that Simus isn't covered up whenever we show something on the bottom of the screen?
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Well, I insist, sir. I insist. You deserve that spot.
You're too kind. You're too kind, sir.
And yeah, we've got emojis dropping. And yeah, you rock, Stop Stupidity. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
100%.
Oops. Mouse is acting funny. Might be time for a new mouse. All right.
When we ask for an alternative, what are we going to hear from an atheist? Well, something like this. Probably not quite as honest as this.
Probably not.
Atheism.
Not quite as honest as this. I bet it's absolutely nothing like we've just said about. No, every time that we find something new out in science, they just call it the heavens.
Yeah.
Is the belief that there was once absolutely nothing.
No.
What? That's the honest answer? The honest answer is I don't know. I don't know.
And nothing happened to the nothing until the nothing magically exploded for
Well,
That's
kind
what
of,
they said.
kind of. This is what I think Christians think.
Yeah.
Except when you say nothing, replace God. And
The
God
nothing's-
did nothing till
yeah, the
God
nothing's
magically
got together.
created something.
I thought for sure his honest answer was going to be I don't know, and then he came up with that.
No, it's
where he
the
went. Oh,
usual
God.
straw man. And this is why I can't fucking stand Kraus. Excuse my French.
He made that
Like
up.
well, no, it's just like this. This after look, he spent all that time debating William Lane Craig, for which he had to go through a serious crash course in philosophy in order to do that, right? And then he comes out with this nothing in his book, right? Just to cash in on the whole thing. And it's crazy.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not like there aren't enough scientists that do that. Anyway, he's just another in the long line of trolls, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
But he's up in front of people saying this stuff. That's what bothers me. It's like, hey,
Well,
where do you get this stuff from?
I mean, the problem is he defends it, right? He actually defends it philosophically. He says, no, there was nothing. And because there's nothing, nothing can't exist, so therefore something happened. Well, that's a kind
silly
of a,
atheists. Gosh.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? That's not exactly the kind of nothing that philosophy talks about, is it? Anyway, whatever. It's just a bugbear.
No particular reason.
No particular reason.
That created everything everywhere.
Everything, everywhere.
Then a bunch.
See, no, it didn't do that. We were just talking for quite a few minutes about the possible expansion of the universe getting bigger, and maybe it'll keep getting bigger. We don't really know. So, nope.
Much of the exploded everything magically rearranged into little bits of this and that for no reason whatsoever.
No reason. It's called gravity, I'm pretty sure. That's the little bits stick to the other little bits because of gravity. Isn't that the final answer, everybody?
Yeah, why not?
Pretty much.
And then it organized itself somehow into tadpoles and frogs and fish and monkeys and apes and humans.
Isn't this a
There
very
you go.
wayward argument for incredulity?
Somehow.
You just got 4 years of biology squeezed into one sentence.
Yeah.
No,
4.5 billion years.
We also got a theory of everything first, and then we got like abiogenesis, and then we got the whole of evolution, all just there, sitting there, exactly the way atheists explain it. Like atheism has anything to do with any of that, by the way.
I like the expression on his face right now. He looks like he's really enjoying himself. He looks like he just bit into a Brussels sprout.
I'd do anything to read those notes.
Yeah.
And human brains.
Human brains, too.
Human brains.
Made all that stuff.
This self-replicating matter was thought to happen absolutely accidentally.
I know
Mike
Mike doesn't like that word.
Yeah.
You can't have an accident unless you have an intention, right? You intend for something to be a certain way, and that requires a human. And then you have an accident, it didn't turn out that way. Accidents don't happen in actual physical universe. There's no accidents.
There we go.
Yeah.
Striking out. And you know what? We're almost through it.
Which makes us all just an accident of nature.
Just
No,
an
it
accident.
Frank?
Nope.
No,
Pretty
no.
much covered that. It's a misconception. They spread it around a lot.
You'd have to have a God if there was such a thing as accidents in nature. God intended it this way, and he fucked up. It didn't happen that way. Made a mistake. Sorry. Slippery. Dropped the universe with my finger. Dropped the earth is with my butter fingers. Whatever.
Yeah. And besides which, my mum said I was a happy accident, so it's a different thing altogether.
Don't ask for a massage. You just get in trouble.
Frank Turek wrote a book called I Don't Have Enough Faith.
My favorite part.
To be an
I
atheist.
don't have enough. I don't have enough basis for that.
Good for Frank Turek. You know, he seems to have made a lot of money off of that book.
Yeah.
Doesn't really mean anything to me, though. So,
Didn't he write that book with an actual? Well, he was Christian, but he was a philosopher. There was a like a pretty prominent apologist of the '80s that he wrote that book with. So I think maybe Turek might have stolen a little credibility from.
wouldn't doubt it.
But Kirby Anderson. I'm thinking Kirby. Anderson. I don't know.
It's sure cited a lot. Oh, Frank Turek. Who's Frank Turek? I don't care. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't care.
Well, the strange thing for me, right, is like just by Occam's razor, it must be false, right? Because I don't believe in God, right? So whatever I do believe in, he believes in also. The only extra thing is he believes in God. Therefore, he's got to have more faith by definition than I do. That's how it is. So if you don't have enough faith to be an atheist, then you certainly can't be a theist.
Actually, Turek co-authored that book, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist, with Norman Geisler. And he was a pretty big deal back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I know the name, yeah.
Christianity requires the least faith of any religion.
No, I
Citation
think
needed.
What?
Citation needed.
if you use the word,
Something like that, comparing religions, like, oh, I got more faith than you, or I've got less faith than you. You know, it's
that doesn't work.
a heck of a brag. I've got less faith than you.
That's where I say no. If your supernatural beliefs are okay, you should be the last one to criticize somebody else's supernatural beliefs.
Yeah.
That's you're the last ones that should do that. But they're always the first ones with, no, it's a false belief, or you're being deceived, or whatever. And really, aren't you open to all this magical stuff? I'm not, but you seem to be. And they're the first ones to say, oh no, it only happens when we like it to happen in certain instances, you know, etc.
You know, I don't know if he's got a Abrahamic bias there, but I just don't feel like, I could be wrong here, that Buddhism and Taoism and other religions really even make a big deal out of faith. With Buddhism, you know, it's maybe you have to have a little faith to like put a particular lifestyle philosophy of non-attachment and you know, following a certain path in your life. Maybe that requires a little bit of faith, but in fact, it requires the least amount of faith. You follow the path and you get the reward. It's not a matter of faith; it's a matter of doing. So,
I think Buddhism defines faith as stop thinking so damn much.
yeah.
Don't overthink it. You know, that sort of thing. So basically, a belief is all about thinking about something, or like putting something together in your mind and believing it, right? Faith is just when you just shut the fuck up and, you know, chop wood.
Well, I'd also point out that you know, this goes against the Christian doctrine that Jesus said when he spoke to Thomas, right? He said something like, you believe because you have touched my wounds, or you've been given evidence, but blessed are those that believe without the evidence.
Yeah.
That's faith right there. So I don't see how he's saying that, you know, Thomas has more faith, or less faith than he does. I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Now, Stop the Stupidity made a very smart observation. Here comes where the words don't mean words.
Yep.
Because our worldview, our faith, is based on eyewitness accounts and on
No, it's not.
historical facts.
No, it's not.
Okay, now did he just equivocate here? You know, there's having faith, there's personal faith, but then there's the faith, which is just a list of doctrines, you know, a list of beliefs. This, you know, this is the oeuvre, you know, of all the content of our writings and ponderings and meetings and things. You know, the faith is like the content of your dogma. So is he equivocating here, going back and forth between having faith and the faith is true?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to do the old Frank Turek thing of saying faith in Greek is something like pistos.
Trust, pistos,
Which is trust, yeah. And so I think he's just saying, well, the way I'm using faith is trust. And then until you quote the Jesus thing at him, and then suddenly faith becomes, like you're saying, this other definition of faith, which is, you know, it's what we hold to believe to be true without evidence. So, you know, yeah. I mean, as usual, he's dancing on the head of a pin. And to me, he doesn't look like no angel.
We'll find out. He's almost done. So here we go.
And our observational abilities to see the miracles of life and the universe all around us.
Yeah,
Look at the trees.
Yeah, it's a miracle. Yeah, that's it.
it is a miracle.
Wow.
I don't know how it happens. Argument from incredulity.
That's all I want to say today about apologetics. I hope you enjoy hearing it. I really want everybody to have a feeling, to not be thrown if somebody says, why exactly do you believe what you believe? There's some pretty good reasons.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we're going to review some of
what are
those
they?
in our coming
For
weeks.
which he has given none.
Is he going to give some reasons? Oh, I would love
No,
to hear
you
those.
got to go to another part.
Yeah, it's
I would
good.
love
This
to hear
video
those
was
reasons.
clickbait.
But it was
I love it.
it was amusing, just some of the things he said.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He gave the, like Dave said, he gave the trees argument.
Yeah,
So that was his argument. Look at the trees. Argument from incredulity or ignorance, I suppose.
I don't know what any of these things are, and
Yeah, I don't know how it could have happened. God must have done it. That was his argument.
God did it. God did it.
because this thing's been sitting here staring at me.
Well, now you've got it. Now you've cleared.
I
the
can
dock.
remove it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Dave. You got rid of another one.
I got rid of one.
Erica's
Okay.
done with Zach.
Oh yeah,
Or not Erica.
Rebecca.
No, Rebecca.
Rebecca.
How did I make that slip? Oh, I'm sorry.
By the
Erica.
way, if anybody in the side chat, anybody viewing this in the far-flung future before the universe has expanded so much that the stars cannot be visible in the sky, check out Zach B. Hancock's YouTube channel. He does a great job of dealing with population genetics, as well as some of the math behind population genetics. To me, it's fascinating stuff.
That's actually his field, population genetics, and it is I mean, to break into that field is not easy. He is the man to go to.
Yeah,
for
we
this.
are very lucky to have him in our our community, our area of network and connection, because he does provide a lot of information. He and Dr. Dan, and of course Erica Gutsick-Gibbon, and many others too. I hate to leave anybody out, but there's a great corpus there of scientifically trained people that are just helping out atheists in understanding the world, as well as dealing with creationists and theists and people who would try to claim that they believe in science when in fact they're just ripping apart the scientific method to proof text their beliefs.
So, Dave, I got to go get my toast. So I gotta bail. Thank you for having me.
All right, Mike.
And tomorrow night, I'm hoping to meet with Dr. Dan.
I was just going to ask you, aren't you hanging out with Dr. Dan tomorrow?
At 8 p.m., which is when my mind starts shutting down. So we'll see how that works.
Take it down.
Yep. I'm going to sleep all day tomorrow and see if that helps. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, see you guys. Good night.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Have a good time.
Hey, and cheers, Mike and Joe.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
Thank you for that.
Joey.
Good night. Good night.
All right, so now we'll get back to some shorties here. And first on the list is one question to ask any atheist.
The one question you should ask any unbeliever or atheist who doesn't believe in God is this. If
Okay.
the God of the Bible came down to you and said, I am
Right.
he, would you worship him?
Well, I guess I've.
Oh, that got him.
The one question you should ask any unbeliever or atheist who doesn't believe.
So the one question is, if God came down, would I worship it? Not that I would believe it. I mean, if God walked up to me and said, I'm God, did all these things, it's like, okay, you're God, right? Would I worship it? That was another question. That's always a funny question. What does it need worship for if it's God, right? I mean, you're God. You just walk up, you say, I'm God. I mean.
So I guess being God doesn't give you self-esteem.
Not at all. None. Yeah. Oh, worship me, I'm God. What do you mean, worship you? It's always been very odd.
You know, they never deal with the opposite. Like, if I could show you that God does not exist, would you quit worshiping him?
Yeah, you can turn it around.
There you go. I mean, I have done that. And to be fair, a couple of Christians, the honest ones said yes. The others said, well, I don't know whether I could stop, because you could never show me that he doesn't exist. Well, it's a hypothetical. I don't answer hypotheticals, That's what Darth Dawkins said to that question. I don't answer hypotheticals.
Well, there we go. That settles that. So one more time.
The one question you should ask any unbeliever or atheist who doesn't believe in God is this. If the God of the Bible came down to you and said, I am he, would you worship him?
Okay.
It's tricky when you say worship like that.
Yeah. Would you worship him? Well, I don't know.
He'd have to have a great personality.
I guess my first question is which Bible? Because there's a shit ton of them.
Yeah,
right?
which God?
If it's like the Jefferson Bible, maybe I would.
What if it turned out that Galactus from the Marvel comics was real? He's not a god, but he's there. He's a cosmic top entity. Would you worship him? I mean, he's big and he can destroy you, so therefore you would worship him. Maybe would you? What is it that makes someone or something worthy and needful of worship? Is it the fact that they can squash you? We quote unquote worship and say things about that person because we have the imminent fear of being totally destroyed, or what is worship? And if the only reason why you're doing it is because they're going to fuck you up,
exactly.
Pardon my French.
The wrath.
And then what's the value of worship other than saving your hide, your spiritual hide, your Casper the Friendly Ghost hide? But what's the point of it? What's the worth of it?
I guess that like Pascal's wager comes into play here, right? It's this is the correct answer. So yeah, okay. If I can be disingenuous and still get away with it, why wouldn't I? No, I wouldn't worship him. I would act like I worship him. To do the Jordan Peterson quiz. I would act like I worship him, but I wouldn't.
What do you mean by the word worship?
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't want to burn forever, eternally. That's just to have my skin regrow and get burned again. Sounds like a bit of a. If eternity is a very long time, getting burnt every day is an even longer time. The whole thing doesn't make sense, does it?
There has to be a Bigfoot, because I was just thinking, I think it was Pixie that was asking me about this one prophetess, and there's Pixie in the chat. So Pixie, let me pull this up and you tell me if this is the one you're talking about.
We need to secure our houses. Don't let the cockroaches in. Don't fight the Don't let them in your house and then fight them. Don't let them in the first place. Don't let the devil in the first place. Will we always do it perfectly? No. But I'm telling you this right now, if you cave to the world's way of coping,
Don't cope.
then you will never be healed properly, because
Oh,
you'll
okay.
never be able to search it out and know that it only comes from him.
I mean, it's just nonsense, isn't it?
That
It
is
is.
such cult talk.
Mm.
It's bad out there. Don't even have anything to do with out there. You need to do it our way. You need to do it our way. Don't have anything to do with them. That's cult talk.
Shut your door and don't let anybody in.
Is that her? Okay. No, I didn't. I was looking through some of them. I didn't see anything about the motorcycle thing, but I did have it in mind. I was looking around for it. But yeah, all right. I've got a couple of videos. I'll look for them.
Everything we need is from him, guys. Everything. I cannot overstate that. There is nothing that doesn't come from him. Nothing that he cannot provide. He
Gotcha.
is everything in all things.
Right.
And
Could you stop it there?
if we don't,
So, in other words, this is something that G-Man used to bring up from time to time. In other words, there should be no starving Christians. And yet, look at the world. Seems like there are starving Christians. Christians do die of starvation.
Meow. Oh, meow. I got a meow. Oh, meow.
see that, then we're going to live our entire Christian walk in defense mode. And that means fighting battles that we never even should have even come to our door. You know, the cockroaches that never even should have come to your door. Because it sprayed the outside of your house and kept it up and protected your perimeter. They would be.
She doesn't know how to pronounce it. I don't think she knows what they are.
Hi, Kitty. I know what they are.
Now I know why you had that up there. Yeah, you know, I've never had a cockroach like knock on my door and ask to come in and share the love of Jesus with me or whatever. They just, you know, they kind of get smuggled in.
I got to feed my cat like this. I see you. You want a bite? The cat's all over me. I got to take care of the cat for a minute. So why don't we, let's see here.
Yeah, I need to make a move as well. So thank you very much indeed.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. And hopefully I'll see you Saturday.
Nice talking to you, Simus.
Thank you. You too. And thank you, chat. Please leave some emotes in chat for me. I'd appreciate that. And it's way past my bedtime, so I'm going to go and have an accident in bed.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Cheers,
Good night,
guys.
Simon. So I'm going to play Brad real quick and feed the cat.
No such thing as an atheist. You guys do not exist. Hey, answers in atheism, and that desktop idiot, and that desktop idiot, and that desktop idiot. You're full. See here, dead flies. Dead fly. Millions and billions of years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, nothing exploded. Dead fly. You call me crazy. Pain of thy destruction. Wait a minute, am I reading the right thing? And you know what, atheist? You're right. And you know what, atheist? Right. And you know what, atheist? Right. Oh, you atheist, especially that one desktop idiot. Self-theist, man of thy destruction. Wait a minute, am I reading the right thing? On you. Hey, that's why I say, you know, hey, have a great time. Hey, there, answers in atheism or atheist, whatever you were. Oh, you atheist, especially that one desktop idiot. And you know what? They're atheists. You're right. Unless the Lord Jesus Christ saves you, you are going to go to hell and burn forever. That's going to be it for this little video.
Thank you, Brad. Pixie, we covered one of Brad's videos, and he, 2 days after that, and then for 2 days in a row, he was talking about us. So, Brainless was saying he's awful loud. So, in my head, I could just hear the loud and like some thrash music, you know, and he's just yelling. So I just kind of pieced it together, and that's my Brad video.
I think the word bellicose, does that fit? He's a rather bellicose dude.
Yeah, he's all with this American English KJV Bible is the only version, and he doesn't like anybody. He doesn't like other believers or anything. He believes he's one of the chosen saints. So everybody else just doesn't know what they're talking about, and I think his circle is really, really small.
Very small. I noticed driving to my son's house the other day, one of the kind of empty, shuttered up churches is this old independent Baptist church. And I thought, that's probably a trend, at least across the country. Of course, I don't know, there may be quite a few in different areas that are just flourishing, but it's a,
that's
negative.
I never saw for sale signs at churches. I don't remember that. And then you start to see it, and then it's like, it's really weird.
Sometimes there's a life cycle where one church will lose its congregation and finally, quote unquote, go out of business or merge with another church, and then the old church building, you know, they'll like become a one of those Spanish speaking, you know, churches that are but I bet they're in danger now, what with ICE and everything, but you know, like Prima Iglesia Bautista or something like that, you know, the First Baptist Church, which is a Hispanic church, and then after that, I'm not quite sure who gets them, but they seem to actually do dwindle and go out of business, quote unquote business, and then get bought by less, you know, well known or traditional type churches in America.
Well, if you thought being called a cockroach was bad.
Uh-oh.
This one here says, you are a dummy to say you are an atheist.
No, I'm just being honest.
This is the surface level. When you get over into each organ and start studying it, yeah, you got to be some type of dummy to say that you are an atheist.
So he's basically saying that if you believe in evolution, you're a dummy. Because I mean, I'm sure there's some atheists who don't believe in evolution, but he's falsely or giving a false equivalence with atheism and biological evolution.
And of course, all the organs and everything are amazing, but there are simpler organisms with simpler organs and simpler systems. And that's how we figured out, oh, okay, nature puts these things together, and that's, well, so to speak, we are an end result. So,
yeah, the later generations build upon what the simpler, later lineages build upon what the earlier and even earlier lineages evolved.
But you're a dummy.
I can accept that.
So let me tell you this. You got all of these wonderful 12 systems, all of this engineering, and each ear and tongue and eye and thumbprint and all of this is different than all of the other billions of people in planet Earth. And you telling me that this level of intelligence exploded based on somebody that set off a firecracker in outer space?
What the hell happened?
Somebody lit off a firecracker in outer space. Yeah, okay. What's up, skeptic philosophy? You dummy. That was Fred Sanford level, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of was. It's that down homey thing. But these congregations want somebody down homey to make them feel good about their belief. And so if you say it down homey, then they'll love you. They'll lap it up. If you say it right, well, not necessarily.
All I got to say is I guess I'm a dummy, because what's my comment here? This dummy atheist stayed awake in science classes while you were sleeping. Sometimes often I leave a comment. Sometimes I can't help myself. All right, that's off my list. Thank you very much. Let's see. I want to bust out a couple more. The first one was a long one just because it was really bad, and it was borderline of what I usually look at. So there it was. Look for some shorties here. 17. All right, here's a good one. Atheists have a God.
All atheists have a God.
Oh, really? Dude, hell.
The whole version is atheists have a God. You won't believe what they worship. Okay. An atheist doesn't believe in God. Do you not know? Do you not know that? I mean,
they have to come up with their own little special definition of what a God is. So they're wrong out of the chute there, because atheists know what kind of God they don't worship or they don't believe in this, despite what Jordan Peterson said in that Jubilee.
That was terrible. Yeah, but we're just dummies. I mean, all righty. So atheists really do believe. You don't know what the word means. Okay.
It's the God of knowledge, the God of wisdom, the God of self. Everyone here has a God.
That was disappointing.
Yeah, God of knowledge, God of wisdom. Does this God have a name? Is it like Fred?
This is kind of like the purpose argument, isn't it? without a God, there none of this stuff means anything or whatever kind of.
And the thing is, he has a Bible that says to seek knowledge and pursue wisdom. Now, of course, he'll say, "Well, we're talking about biblical, godly wisdom." No, it's the pursuit of wisdom, and that's what many atheists do. Is they pursue knowledge, they pursue wisdom. That's a biblically approved activity. Not that I care that the Bible does it, but he's just wrong. He doesn't. He is saying something that is counter to what his Bible actually teaches.
Well, that's everything is grounded in God, but then they'll say, well, of course, an atheist can do this, this, or this, and well, then it contradicts that again. If an atheist can do the same thing as, I think that's the kind of the Hitchens challenge is.
The Christian assertions about reality aren't needed.
Well, that was disappointing. Oops.
Hey, but you crossed them off your list.
I know,
of course, the more you clear, then you're going to have to go find others.
No, I got like 270 of them.
Oh, then we'll be here a while. I should have made more coffee.
Well, I got some shorties I want to bust out here, so that helps. Let me see. How about atheism debunked? There's a good shorty.
The atheist is without excuse. Because
you don't know what a word atheist means either.
And I can just quote random passages out of a book too.
And ultimately, I mean, none of us can 100% say that, well, there's no super being God or whatever you want to call it out there, or in another dimension or all this stuff. And what happens after you die and all this stuff? Well, I don't know. We'll all find out. But the stuff that, well, atheists don't know anything, things, I don't know. It really bugs me because I haven't seen any difference.
Because every morning the sun rises and every evening the sun sets.
Yeah, and it does that on believers and non-believers. That's like a Buddha saying, isn't it? That the sun shines upon the believer and the unbeliever, and so do the rains fall, something like that. So again, you haven't shown any difference.
And it has never failed in his lifetime.
Okay, tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that.
Never a miscommunication. Never. That tide always be coming in and always be going out.
Oh, man. Wow, that was a good one. All right, I like that one. I can take it off my list. But that was really bad. Sometimes I find these really bad ones and I just have to save them because I just can't refuse or resist, I mean. It's another shorty. Here's another shorty. 20 seconds. All right.
That's a shorty.
Evolution is not logical. All right, I like it.
Evolution makes no sense.
You need a creator. You need someone to take that broken computer and put it all together, who is very, very smart, who knows how to put computers back together, and then is able to put it back together intricately and make it work. And
yes, we make computers, and I know how they work. And we know enough about electronics to make them work.
And that doesn't argue for a creator of a computer. That argues for a well-trained technician.
Yeah, it's a glorified tool, right? We started making things and we made better and better things. So now we got some really cool things. But it's I don't know, is it a watchmaker argument, whatever? Oh, look at this computer. Now look at your hand, right? Well, but you're a biological organism, right? And there's all kind of totally different systems, or whatever they want to call it, going on than what's going on in a computer that we made, once again, like as a glorified tool. These are terrible arguments. And look at him, the smug face, like, I got you. It's like, dude, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. It's, what about, I got to try once again.
Evolution makes no sense.
You need a creator. You need someone to take that broken computer and put it all together who is.
All right.
That's
So
not an argument for a creator.
and it doesn't work against with the evolution, because you can say, obviously, a computer evolved, right? From big, huge computers with tapes and punch cards and all that stuff down to something we can have in our hand now. So that's quite an...
You're saying nature can't make complicated things.
Yeah.
And that's just not true. There's very complicated natural phenomena. There you go.
and yeah, I mean, well, they still have those competitions with using an abacus, and they're faster than a calculator. So you don't need a really complex machine to do complicated math. It's pretty amazing.
Multiplication and division are both forms of addition and of subtraction when it all boils down to it. So,
can you review some Frank Turk videos? I come across Frank Turk videos.
He's kind of annoying. I wish we could run Frank Turk through some sort of converter that just makes him less annoying and obnoxious.
But it's good to see you here, Story. Or Stri. Did I say that wrong? Strike. Yeah, okay. Striker Hero. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just had one last week, I think. Yeah, if I see one, I'll pop it up. Hey, Wes, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, Oceanus is out there. Good to see you. Sorry, I had to catch up on the chat. You don't know, you got to go to different things. So appreciate it. If you have a little bit of patience, I will try to scan through them. Oceanus doesn't like the lactose intolerance. Yeah, I heard that's a bummer. There you go. I like that version. Rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. If you come to a river and you believe in a God, the distance across doesn't change. Right? So give me, a positive other than the little prophetess lady we were looking at earlier who talks to God in her car, right?
Don't let the cockroaches in.
Yeah, don't let the cockroaches in. It's like, okay, good advice. Thank you very much, prophetess lady that talked to God. Okay. That's one of the things too. People that claim to have any of these powers, it doesn't do anybody any good. So I will lean with the benefit of the doubt that you have a power to see the future in whatever way you do it. Read palms or however I don't care. Right. Or in your religious text. It's not playing favorites. Now, if you can actually predict the future and it doesn't do anybody any good, I don't see the good in it.
That sounds like a,
you know what I mean?
A sketch on Saturday Night Live or something, useless prophecies.
Yeah. It's like, like after a disaster, I don't want to wish anything on anybody, but something bad happens somewhere. And then somebody says, oh yeah, I had a dream about that. it must have been, I'm God, or I'm a psychic, or any of these things. Okay. Even if that's true, it didn't do anybody any good. You know what I mean? It didn't prevent the
Right.
pain from
Somebody just trying to boost their own
right
spirituality or something.
yeah. So even if you have these powers, you aren't serving anybody any good. And when I listen to these prophets and prophetesses, they don't make any sense. They just spew out a bunch of nonsense, throw in some Bible words in there, and it means absolutely nothing. And I'm thinking again, this is how God speaks to people. You know what I mean? The Almighty says, something really off the wall. I mean, you just, okay, this is God, and then all of a sudden you get,
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
and you're like, what? And it's probably like on a Tuesday, or I don't see the purpose. You know what I mean? If this God is actually talking to these people that are rambling on about I don't know what, then I got to really question this being's mental state, because it kind of talks in
like this.
Yeah, it talks like in incomplete sentences and everything, and language like about lamps and all these things that are way outdated. Nobody uses these things anymore. So they're just picking these things out of the Bible or something. And
then to top things off, a lot of them in the middle of their proclaiming will start talking in gibberish to prove that what they're saying is, you should listen to.
Yeah. Hey, John, how you doing? Good to see you. And Vesta's in here. Hello, Vesta. Good to see you. Yeah, we're in here just having a little fun, hanging out. And this guy here was, like I said, it started out something about evolution, but then you got to have a computer. But we can point out a computer can evolve. And I said, you can even have an abacus. And with an abacus, all you need is some, the pieces that slide on the racks. Very simple. And you can get a fancier and fancier computer. So, yeah, you totally don't understand biology compared to... I understand, like, when Bill Gates or somebody says, well, yeah, like DNA is like computer code or something, and they try to explain it to lay people. But when they take these lay people explanations and they're trying to make, oh, yeah, this is what it actually is, no, it's not. They're totally different. And I like to tell them, you need the birds and the bees discussion, because computers don't reproduce. And that is one of the big differences with life, is replication. If they can figure that out, that's one of the big mysteries, actually, is the replication. But it's amazing. Just looking real quick if I had any Frank in there. Let's say I know I just had a Frank pretty recently. Wait a minute. Oh, that's a long one. Is that Frank? No, that's not Frank. Well, I'll see if I come across a Frank, I will definitely play a Frank.
Yeah, Frank would be someone I'd have to watch his video several times, because he goes through the fallacies and crap so quickly.
I like to space him out too, because yeah, he bugs me a little bit. And all right, we'll go back to the beginning then, and we'll take out what's here right on top. The truth about evolution. This ought to be good.
If we waited millions and millions of years, would that tomato seed finally one day turn into a pumpkin?
I didn't hear that very well. What did he say?
A tomato seed will turn into a pumpkin.
Can you tell me that you know nothing about science and remotely in any way without telling me you don't know anything about science?
This this would hurt Mike.
And then I have to tell them, there's this story that was made by people, and I can give you the whole history of it, who didn't believe the Bible and didn't want there to be a God, so they had to come up with a different story. And that story is called evolution.
The main theory being taught.
Oh. One thing to YouTube.
We waited.
Tell me you don't know anything
Give
about
you that
the
little
history of
pause.
science without telling me that you don't know anything about the history of science.
This argument too is fed to the congregations, right? It's this anti-God thing, but at the same time, again, they'll flip around when it suits them to name drop a scientist, right? Oh well, this scientist believed in God, and look, they did this and that. Okay, well, what about this scientist? Oh, that scientist doesn't believe in God. So, but it's the same science. It's utter nonsense. And I don't know what the heck he's trying to say. A tomato seed will turn into a pumpkin. I don't even know if they're related. I'm not that up on it. Does anybody know? Yeah, if anybody knows if tomatoes and pumpkins are even related, I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Stryker wants to know, this is my first time coming across your channel. Well, yeah, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. What's some things about you? Like, did you used to be a Christian? Were you raised in a Christian home? How'd you become an atheist? I'm what you call a cradle atheist. I was never really a believer. But Scott on here, he was a believer at one time, and now he's not a believer.
That's true. Yeah. Did I used to be a Christian? Yes. Were you raised in a Christian home? Not really. It wasn't an atheist home. It's just my mom was a Church of Christ person. My dad grew up Southern Baptist, and they resolved the conflict by not talking about religion in any way whatsoever. But I eventually did become a Christian at age 14, due to the influence of course, a girl. And then how did you become an atheist? Basically, I just came to realize that I would have to believe such extremely stupid things to maintain my faith, and that science and psychology and sociology and economics describes pretty much everything that matters in our lives, much more than a book of fables and symbols and myth. Even if it's to be called the metaphysical substrate or whatever, metaphorical substrate, like Jordan Peterson talks about, we don't need it. I mean, we don't need it to know reality. We might need it to know what these Christian folks are talking about, or what the art and music in our culture are about, but we don't need it to explain reality. And I came to that point from several different angles about 35 years after I became a Christian.
Yeah, I always took Bible stories. I compare it like to Aesop's fables. They were stories that had some kind of meaning. useful for preachers to give sermons out of and say, well, look, you know, the man was on the road and he gave him some food or whatever the story would be. And everybody has a nice little story on Sunday. But the mythology, we talked to a theist a couple of weeks ago about it. The mythology enters in, and we have to say, really, do you really believe that whatever it was is floated around or whatever it could be? That obviously it's a story, right? And like a lot of other stories, the meaning is often lost when you try to take it literally, like talking animals and stuff like this in Aesop's fables. Obviously they weren't talking. You're supposed to get a message from the book. So I never really understood why people took a lot of those things literally. And no offense to Scott or anything, I know a lot of people did at one time, but I never saw the literal understanding in any of it. And then I was saying that just the other day, the older I got, the more interest I took in understanding why people believe in these things. And that also took me to all the cryptid things and the ghost stories and the aliens and everything else. So I like to look into a lot of these things because people seem to believe in a lot of things. And I find that pretty fascinating. And Jill says, no, tomatoes and pumpkins are not related.
That's good to know.
Thank you.
Hey, I think you're missing a niche opportunity. You probably need to start a third channel because people are talking about how they listen to your voice to relax them, and how Joe says, "Yeah, I fell asleep twice streaming with Dave." You need to start one of those Ko-fi or ASMR channels, or just, you know, wise words to end your day or something like that, and help people fight insomnia.
John's one of my fans. Always appreciate John. And yeah, hey, good to see you, Joe. Joe's a good friend of the channel. Yeah, Joe's on. He's doing a Saturday thing, and then after Joe is on, you can come over and see us at Saturday Night at the Atheist. So we got you covered on Saturday afternoons, and of course, there's lots of evening shows that kick in on Saturday evenings too.
Here's an idea for you. Just spitballing here. Get some of the dishes out of your cabinets, set them next to your microphone. Begin just reciting some thoughtful words to remember, and then take a pause, and then just kind of with your fingernails scrape the bottom of your pan or your baking casserole dish, and then that'll just relax them, give them some ASMR, and you'll probably be buying a mansion by the end of the year.
Yeah, well, I've dabbled. I do dabble a little bit. I just recorded something for Wes. Wes was just in the chat there from Skeptic Haven. He said, "Hey, I got a little thing I wrote, and I could use another voice to do the other part." So I recorded it for him. Say he's going to do something with it, and we'll see.
And remember also that audio book of Lobsterist that you did with Deconverted Man. That's a good listen. It's really a good listen.
I narrated Deconverted Man's book, and I took it as seriously as as it was intended, right? But yeah, so I do dabble a little bit with the voice things and everything, and so yeah, we'll see. I never really thought that I liked myself on a microphone, so I never really thought about it. So it's kind of a new thing, and yeah, here and there I've done some stuff, and I've done some recordings for people. Talking about Zach earlier, I've done some recordings for Zach and everything. And, yeah, so I do a little bit. We'll see. And I always appreciate all the input and everything. And the folks that give me the compliments on my voice. And yeah, I do appreciate it. I do listen. Try to feel my way around a little bit. See if I do some things. So we'll see. Yeah. But this guy here, he's just terrible. And
terrible. Not worth. I mean, imagine being in a congregation and hearing this stuff.
I know. And I've seen the longer version, and you see like the dinosaurs and stuff on the stage behind him there. Oh, it's terrible. It's really terrible. You got these kids there, and that's why I didn't show the whole version, because they've got way down here for. They had a lot of younger folks, and I'm always cautious about catching any younger folks in the videos. I don't care if they're doing it, but mine's set for no children's, whatever the setting is. Let me see. I'll drop a couple more. Let's see. I don't see any Franks, but I'll keep an eye out. I saw John Lennox. Sean McDowell. But Sean McDowell, see what Sean's got to say.
One of the reasons I found that a lot of Christians don't believe in the Big Bang Theory is because they think it contradicts with the book of Genesis. They think it carries with it a certain naturalistic understanding of the world, that the Big Bang means there is no God.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I don't understand that either, because the Christians seem to be split. Some of them say, well, yeah, there was a Big Bang. That's how God made the universe. And then the other ones, they associate it with Genesis. And others say, no, that's not how the universe was made, because of the earth being made and then the stars, and in a opposite order. So there seems to be a conflict between the Christians on that one.
Yeah, I don't see anything about the Big Bang in the Bible anyway. A few people think they see the Big Bang or the expanding universe, where it talked about God rolling out the heavens or the stars or something like a blanket. But that's basically God constructing the firmament and things like that kind of bowl shape, inverted bowl shape of the atmosphere and the skies and the firmament and the space above it. It's not really talking about a Big Bang. So yeah, to say God, the Big Bang proves God is just ridiculous. I mean, it's not biblical, so why would you want to believe it?
Got Adam stopping in. Hey, Adam. Child indoctrination of religion is so disgusting. I feel really lucky that my parents just happened to both be non-religious. Yeah, see, I was what you call a cultural Christian. When I grew up, it was still the time of places were all shut down on Sundays. There wasn't nothing to do because everybody went to church. So a lot of businesses and stores and everything didn't open until, lunchtime-ish, whatever that would be, so people could go to church. So that's what we did. But like I say, it didn't mean it was cultural. It's what you did Sunday mornings. It wasn't. I never really had the belief thing. I had more of the, people all around, in that area would go to that church. So,
very often you can get free
thanks for
food
stopping by. Yeah.
Very often you can get free food out of it, and donuts on Sunday mornings, coffee usually free. So there's advantages to being a cultural Christian.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they have all their things. They have cookouts and picnics and charity things and all the good stuff and everything. But it is the social atmosphere. And
if you pick the right church, you'll see some really sexily dressed women at church. But you have to pick the right one.
And what's up, Quasar? Good to see you. What's Joe talking about? Shifting the goalpost anytime you fill the God of the gaps. Yeah. That definitely happens a lot nowadays. Oh, well, of course, like Sean here. Of course, the Big Bang. And once science discovered it. So we'll see what else he's got on it. Come on, Sean. Lately, Sean's been failing on me. Haven't been impressed with some of his arguments.
I found that people who are that
daddy's fame.
Yeah.
quick to dismiss it don't really understand what the Big Bang Theory is, what the evidence is for it, and in fact, why many Christians who are scientists embrace it, because it actually seems to line up with what the Bible teaches, that the universe itself had a beginning.
See, there you go. Which one is it? The Christians cannot agree on whether the Bible is this way or that way on the Big Bang. And I would have to say, from my understanding with the literal Genesis and why the side is against the Big Bang is because of the earth was created first. Isn't that right, Scott?
Yep. Definitely out of order.
Totally out of order.
But, once again, that's what happens when you take something that's essentially symbolic in nature, meant to be a story that teaches a lesson that has, and once again, the lessons to be taught are just usually, if I'm thinking about it accurately, in the first and second chapter, they're etiologies. They're, little mythical blurbs, short stories about how something came to be in the world as we know it, like the serpent, that we're going to have enmity with it and it's going to bruise our heel and we're going to crush its head. That answers the question, why do we hate snakes, or why do so many people hate snakes? I know some people, like, Matt Dillahunty is into raising reptiles, selling them and things. Aaron Ra, he's covered with serpents, half the time when he does a stream on his channel. But for the most part, people have an aversion to snakes, and especially when, you're working in the field, you reach your hand down to, pluck a weed out of the ground and you get bit by a snake, So that is an etiology. It's just I don't want to say fancy. It's just a tale that answers a question, why or how.
I've got a couple fake snakes that I set by my pond kind of as a bird deterrent, or scarecrows, right? And for weeks after I put them there, I would walk out and I would jump thinking a snake was sitting there. And I knew that I put them there, but you have that reflexes. Whoa, step back, right? And we were talking about earlier, well, it's better to step back and not get bit, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea.
I've been carrying a shovel around my property, or the property here, for quite a while, because one day I was wrestling with the overstuffed garbage, bins to take out to the street, and I nearly stepped on a baby copperhead. And of course, I sort of like, kind of the gross out panic. Oh my gosh, there's a snake. I hate snakes. And I was looking around for something to kill it with, and I couldn't find anything. And of course, it got away. It went behind, a big pile of trash that had accumulated, a big pile of, just like boxes and things like that. And it surprised me so much. I thought, man, I'm glad that thing didn't nip at me or whatever. So I've been carrying a shovel around just in case I meet its cousin or something. It's, its bigger, stronger cousin.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that enmity that people develop. Some people love them. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm just saying that the aversion people have with snakes, the battle going on for domination. Get off my property.
Well, around here it's mostly just the little gardener snakes, right?
Yeah.
But my only issue with them is when they bite my fish, because my fish are too big for them to swallow, and they've killed a couple fish, and they, for no reason, they can't eat them, and they just bit them anyway. So it makes me a little upset. But otherwise, yeah, the only ones we have really around here are running around in the garden, and yeah, they're eating the bugs, whatever. That's all good stuff. Just don't bite my fish, and we're okay.
I'm just saying, don't bite my leg.
Don't do that either. Yeah, Sean, disappointing. Like I said, not that you can interpret it that way, and I'm actually in favor of it. Okay, so I'm not dissing not to do that. Trying to keep up in the 21st century, hey, that's a good thing. I'm just pointing out that if you're gonna say, well, no, you're being silly because you're reading the Bible as Genesis is written, I think this is a Christian problem. I don't think it's a science problem.
Yeah, and also in the scientific realm, it's not a settled question that the universe had a quote-unquote beginning. It's undetermined, I guess, because some people think so, some people not. Is it a eternally oscillating universe where you have like a series of big bangs, or is it could be that the universe did have a beginning, but maybe the material, I say material because it was neither matter nor energy like we know it today, but the universe itself could be the thing that is eternal. We know it exists because we've measured this universe one way, to 100 ways to Sunday, I guess you would say. And, we know the universe exists. Why do you need to posit an eternal God? It just seems like, okay, you say there's an eternal God that created everything and that there had to be an eternal God. We say the universe is eternal because it has to be eternal because things are here. You don't have to, it's just not necessary to posit a God. The reason why people posit God is because people have been worshiping gods from time immemorial, with all of the different cognitive biases and flaws in thinking that we naturally have.
This is an area where Christians have freedom, so to speak, to interpret Genesis differently within certain confines, and also.
So you can redefine it within certain confines. See, that's mighty tricky wording. I mean, you have to redefine it, Sean. It's wrong. Scott agrees, and anybody else wants to disagree. Pretty sure it reads, the planet came first, then the stars. That is backwards from anything Big Bang, cosmology, astronomy, all those things. Totally backwards. So that is a Bible problem. And if you're going to redefine things in the Bible, hey, that's what I was trying to say earlier about me thinking it closely relates to something more like Aesop's fables, because you're not supposed to take it all literally. And then now we open up a whole other opportunity to discuss what other things are not literal, but as somebody mentioned earlier, I keep forgetting their name, but I wish they would stop back again. Telios something, colorful language. So how much colorful language is used in your religious text. And if you're going to open the door for all this colorful language, we can go all the way up to Jesus rising from the dead.
Yeah, also don't forget on day 3 there was land and vegetation created. And then day 4, sun, moon, and stars. How are you going to have vegetation without the sun?
Yeah,
how are you going to have light without the stars?
Yeah.
However, of course, I don't know. I guess you could say the photons from the original, settling, the cooling of the expansion beyond a certain point. But see, that takes 300,000 years. Took 300,000 years to do. You see, the thing is, the Christians will go with the Big Bang so far, but then when you start asking them to deal with the specifics of the Big Bang, you're still dealing with time periods that are just way beyond what many would allow. For the age of the Earth, while still saying that the Big Bang means there was a God, a big creator. They inconsistently, they want to have it both ways. They want to talk outside of both sides of their mouth. They want to have their cake and eat it too, with all this, without just, I would just love to see a creationist model that comes up with, how all this evidence we have fits with it, but we don't get that. We just get all these ad hoc assertions about science and how it proves the Bible.
Yeah, that's one of the points that, well, if the Bible would have got the correct order, but it doesn't seem to understand the correct order. So how much are you going to change it, Sean? Right? And I'm in agreement. I'm more of like a Jeffersonian Bible, right? Where you kind of take out the literal miracle magic things and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, if you're going to open it up to a wider, broader interpretation, but you have to be consistent. If you're going to change, because Ken Ham or somebody like that would have an absolute meltdown that he's willing to, just redefine Genesis. Sure, then why don't you I can hear Ken Ham already. Well, then you can just redefine this and this and this and this and this. And he's exactly right. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. He's right, but he's not going to accept that because he wants to continue to continue to believe in his religion, be in control of that religion. That's another thing. He wants control.
He's got a legacy.
So to understand the scientific data. So important issue, but let's not lose what we have in common and our unity that transcends our differences about how old the earth is.
That means absolutely nothing, Sean.
So is Sean saying, okay, it transcends our differences about how old the earth, what is he actually claiming that the earth is 10,000 years old or 6,000 years old or something like that?
I don't believe so. Yeah. But yeah, this is a big problem. Christian unity. Yeah, it's a unity problem because that was my comment. See, I'm on it. I'm the only comment too. Look at that, 900 views, 4 months, and I'm the only comment.
This is for Sean McDowell?
No, this is Universe Designed. Whatever that is. I got 900 some subscribers. Wow. Yeah, and that was my comment. The Bible says the earth was first. So, yeah, you can't have it that way, Sean. So you've got a problem with the Bible. And I'm going to agree with the other side. And if you're going to redefine things, then we're going to have a whole discussion on just how many things you're willing to redefine in the Bible. Because, again, I can hear Ken Ham already making a response video to that. You can't do that. No way you can do that. That'll be interesting. what I've heard is again, it's like it seems to be 50-50, where half the people are saying yes to a Big Bang, or the believers. Half the believers are saying yes to a Big Bang, and the other half are saying no to a Big Bang. So I do think it's a big problem in how you're reading it. Because if you're reading it like I'm reading it and anybody else would read it, it's got the order wrong. Got something fun. How about, does the Bible explain the pyramids? Here we go.
Does it explain the what?
This is
The
so
pyramids.
interesting. Does the Bible point to who made these mysterious pyramids in Egypt? You don't want to miss this.
I love what you talked about as well,
Okay.
is that these Nephilim, these hybrids, were the ones that were responsible for building pyramids and all.
All right, I'm already, I'm seeing the argument that you need a really big humanoid to move the really big rocks, right?
Yeah.
The problem is, even if somebody really big though, is still not going to be able to pick those rocks up and carry them around.
Yeah.
You're still talking about, what are they, 25-ton stones, or they're always talking about how much they weigh. And then the solution is just to have a bigger person.
One big giant person.
Yeah, I mean, well, anybody, again, biology and everything, you'd understand that, first of all, bigger people, are usually very unhealthy. The way we're built is to be within a certain size range, right? So if you wanted to be really, really big, I think Eric was explaining this to Hovind, you have to reconstruct everything, right? You need bigger bones, you need a better circulatory system. Everything has to be changed. You just can't blow up people. But okay, so you got some big dudes to move the rocks. Okay, we'll see.
All these monolithic structures. I don't know if you guys know this, but to this day, nobody knows why or how pyramids are exactly pointed and aligned with the compass. And
Pretty simple to do. You look at the sky and mark it on the ground.
Right. Yep. They've kind of known that for years. Yeah.
There's a lot of places that have done that, and things like Stonehenge and all these places that line up with certain things. And it's been well known. I mean, in the time before all our modern lighting everywhere, you got a great show at night, right?
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, it's hard to find a place, and ultimately, I guess there's light pollution everywhere. It's really hard to find any places that are totally clear. But yeah, if you go in the desert or some of the mountains and stuff, they got great views, and that's what people saw all the time, and that's why you had all the astrology and all that goes with it. So, yeah, that's another one. Scratch. Okay, go ahead. What's next?
2008, over 138 pyramids have been discovered in Egypt. Some of them, listen to this, over 6 million tons. 6 million tons! This is how much they weighed. But there's no advanced technology back then. But they can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had really big rocks, and they moved them around. And it's pretty amazing. And you don't need big people to do it. You could probably even do it with little people, because it's a matter of physics and leverage and ramps and rollers and all the things they had available.
Yeah, he's getting into his incredulity, and I wonder if he's going to get into the subtle racism of, how advanced society, advanced people must have done it because, these poor brown Egyptians and inferior people couldn't have thought it up on their own, not like the Greeks.
How could they possibly do it, right? Yeah. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, Mark. Always appreciate it. what you got left here? Come on.
Came from thousands of years ago. So how did they get there? And this is what the world points to: supernatural beings, some type of, and the world calls them aliens, we call them Nephilim, right? Some supernatural technology, yet the Bible tells us
a lot of people look at the
Hold on. First of all, they stacked blocks, okay? And no offense to the engineers, okay? Some amazing engineering was done in the ancient world. I am not, saying anything about their engineering. All I'm saying is these things that amaze people, I've tried to teach my boys that are very basic things. Like, if you want something level, all you need is a little bit of water, right? That's all you really need. And then you can make it a little fancier and make yourself a nice level out of it. But all you really need is a little bit of water. Okay, well, people usually have a little bit of water. There you go. And then you get yourself a string. Now you can run a straight line, and you can put a bob on it, run up and down. Some of these basic things mankind has known about for a long time. And then if you just look up, and then you look down and you align it on the ground, you've got your markings for where you want to put your corner lines, right? And that's where you build from. When I did my pond, I said, okay, I want my pond to fit inside of a certain area because I cover it in the wintertime.
So how much did you have to pay your Nephilim to build your pond for you?
Yeah, well, my one son's pretty big. He played football. He's a pretty big guy. But most of the work was done by my younger son, who's on the slider side. So, yeah, no, I didn't need a Nephilim at all.
So now, looks like this particular channel has one name, and this must be the guy. But then he's showing a video of this hyper guy who I suspect may be on way too many monster drinks.
The channel is called Ant Marosco. It looks like the same picture.
But does it say
that's the one there?
Who's doing the video?
I don't know what the other one is. I don't know, unless that's him there. It might be in the description. But let's see if he's got anything else to say.
Pyramids, and they believe aliens built them, and it deters them from believing in God, not knowing that the Bible gives a pretty good explanation on how they were most likely built. Let me know what you think in the comments. And
when's he gonna quote the Bible verse that says they built the pyramids? Because
it's just the Nephilim, I think.
Yeah, here's the only really relevant Nephilim passage. It's Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. That's all. That's all it says about them.
Yeah.
They were noble, they were heroes, but it doesn't say that they were construction workers for Egypt.
They often talk about really high arches and stuff like that. And historians point out it's because people would go in and out on horses or carriages, so they had higher arches. It wasn't, the gates to the cities and all those things. It wasn't for giant people. It was for people that were riding on top of a horse or a camel or whatever their mode of transportation was.
Now, the one book that they may be thinking of as the Bible, but it's not really. It's an extra biblical book. It's a book that could have, or maybe even should have made it into the Bible. Was the Book of Enoch, which did talk about the Nephilim. I haven't read the Book of Enoch, but I do recall that I think they talk in a more expanded way about the Nephilim.
L.A. Marzulli talked about that The thing with the Nephilim is that they were killed in the flood, but because they had some kind of whatever spirit or whatever in them, that it actually released the spirits from them. So we didn't actually get rid of them, even though one of the purposes of the flood was to get rid of them. So I'm like, okay.
So they lingered on
as demons.
Giants.
So they linger on as demons. So they're the troublemakers that are running around.
Do these people in this video think that the Nephilim built the pyramids before the flood, and that the flood somehow didn't wipe out the pyramids? Is that
probably?
I don't understand.
I don't understand that either. Well, don't forget, right after the flood, you had civilizations going to war. So you're talking about some serious, getting it on to have complete civilizations right after the flood. It's, hi, Tori. How you doing? Good to see you. YouTube's giving you troubles. It'll do that.
They're nothing but trouble.
Some days. Like I say, my thing wasn't giving me announcements, but now it is again. So sometimes you pick up a little bug. Speaking of bug, this dude's bugging me. No, the pyramids, pretty much we understand that you can move large objects if you want to by different means and across the sand and all the other arguments. Besides, there's evidence that they floated a lot of things, and if you float things, you have an advantage with the displacement. All you need is a big enough barge and enough water in the canal, and you're moving big blocks. So there you go. I don't buy any of the arguments against people, and again, as Scott pointed out, there's always the argument against how did people that aren't white folks building these things, and no, you can do it. If you're determined to do it, you can do it. And ultimately, pyramids are stacked blocks, okay? If it's some kind of advanced technology, why didn't they give us some kind of steel infrastructure so you could build vertically instead of the pyramid shape? And why do you find pyramids all around the world? Once again, you can't build vertically. You can build in a pyramid shape to get as high as possible. All these things are well known. Why the conspiracy things or whatever are still running around about it, it's just, oh wow, look at this big fancy thing. How did they do it? And it's like, well, why don't you just find out how they did it? And you pretty much know how they did it. So stop doing that. What time is it?
10:23.
I still got time.
I guess it's 11:23 your time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're just a wild child, a late nighter.
Well, it's the night watch, I'm here for the late nighters, and folks that might be on the other coast, or like our friend Mark Reed there, who's in Australia. It's a good morning for him.
I think you need to make another thumbnail for the night watch and have it be the big wall in Game of Thrones, the big ice wall, with the night watch logo on it somewhere, kind of carved on it in 3D kind of lettering or neon lettering.
We'll see what we can come up with. Sometimes I just plug in what I want, and I get pretty good pictures. The problem still is AI has a problem with text. I can get awesome pictures with beautiful text missing one letter. I had a great picture for tonight. It said the Night Watch, but there was no H, right? It cut off the H. So it was just.
I wonder if it's some sort of layering glitch where, like, I wonder if you can specify, I want, the Night Watch to be on the outermost layer, and that way it would do everything, but then slap the Night Watch on it last or something. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
I'll throw that word in there, see if it makes a difference. Maybe it will, because it does seem to, mess up a letter or something, and it'll be, oh, this one looks so good, and then I'll look at it and I'll say, but it's spelled wrong.
I know with doing HTML images and things like that, there was some sort of z-index or layering or something where you could specify what goes on top of what when you had multiple areas.
I can always put text in or something like that, obviously, but it's just nice, especially because I kick it a couple bucks every month to use the thing. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, you might as well put the text on it while you're at it, and I'll tell it, to make it, whatever kind of font or what style I want or something. I'm just trying to get my money's worth out of it. But I have just surrendered before and said, I'm just going to stick some text on it because it's just not understanding me. And speaking of not understanding, I finished out tonight with some good not understanding. Okay. So here's some really good ones. Not understanding reality, I guess, and maybe we won't talk about the dark side of it. We'll just talk about the unreality of it.
Okay. Unreal.
Exorcisms.
Ooh.
Demon is almost unique in their own way. Thomas Aquinas says that every angel is in itself a species. If you can imagine that, it's like
every angel is its own species.
Okay, so I bet Thomas Aquinas never studied the iconography or not iconography, maybe that's the word, of like the Mesopotamian civilizations and compared them to what was described in the Bible and said, oh, actually they're the same species as what they had in Sumeria and Babylon and Nineveh.
Yeah, Stop the Stupidity uses little text. I have learned that. Don't try too hard to generate something. Let it think for you, so to speak, right? And just give it, look for keywords, If I don't know if they still use that term, but whatever. use the certain words and let it fill in the rest, because I figured out if you try to explain it too much, it doesn't understand. But if you just say, I want a flower and I want a tree and I want some grass, it'll make a nice picture. But if you tell it, I want, such and such grass with such and such trees and here and there and over then all of a sudden you get one of those pictures where everything's kind of all jammed together and the trees growing out of the sky. Or Deconverted Man just sent me one with something like a Bigfoot half growing out of a desk or something, and I was like, I've got some of those, because again, I was telling it too much about Bigfoot at the captive desk, right? But I did eventually get it to understand by minimalizing that I wanted a Bigfoot at a desk, and the simpler you make it, the better your images come out. So that is amazing. I have learned that, but it is a good tip. Appreciate it very much. And I love some of the folks that do that. They give these kind of tips that it helps people save a lot of time, and I appreciate it. I really do. I follow the Da Vinci for Noobs guy. Man, he is great. Tells you, oh, if you're doing this and this, just click this and click that, and there you go. And I'm like, that's all I had to do. Thank you. And I save it, and I'm like, oh, here, that's right. Wait a minute. I know how to do that now. And you click the, time savers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Same. So depending on what group of demons is affecting that person, and that person being different from you and from me and from him, it's always a little different. But there's also generalities, like they always hate certain things. They don't like, when Our Lady is present, when we feel her presence in the room, that's the most painful part of the exorcism for that.
What a load of hokey polokies. I don't know what the word is.
Baloney is a good word.
Now, of course, they're preying on people who may have issues, and I really don't want to go there because obviously these people have issues when they're going to an exorcism. But the nonsense of it, all the angels do this and that, and all the demons do this and that, and they know all these things, they have these names for them. And Scott, once again, is that in the Bible?
Very little is really taught about demons in the Bible. I mean, there's one where Jesus said, "Well, this kind of demon requires much prayer and fasting," but that was when his disciples couldn't cast out a demon for some reason, and he told them why. So no, there's not a whole lot of information given. It's just all lore. There's probably extra biblical texts or what they call the Apocrypha, where maybe it describes demons somewhat. But yeah, this is all it's mythology within mythology. You have the Catholic Church mythology, and now you have the demon mythology. Yeah. And these people, in order to basically prop up their credibility, say this kind of baloney in order to make people think they're talking about something real and it's enticing, and it's just like talking about Bigfoot or UFOs. Let's talk about demons now.
But and they seem to be everywhere and in everything. So I guess, people like to talk about it enough.
And if you deny they exist, then you're probably a demon.
You have a demon. Yeah. Well, I've been told I have a demon, and so Quasar says, FYI, Windows 11 Paint has object and background removal. Yes, MS Paint is still around. I do use Paint, and I do use the only thing is it doesn't quite understand remove the background. So I had to run an image through GIMP first, because GIMP is like a Photoshop, if you don't know. I ran it through GIMP because GIMP took the background out without taking out the inner parts, because it was making it like all transparent. So, but once I did that, then I just dropped it in Paint. But yeah, I do use it once in a while. But on some things it removes the background only, and on other things it leaves parts or it takes out parts in the middle and it doesn't quite understand. But hopefully they'll get a little better. But sometimes I use it. I appreciate the tip. And yes, good old Paint can be very handy. Deconverted man likes Paint.
I'm looking on my Windows 10 computer here, and I asked Copilot if that was available in MS Paint for Windows 10. And if you have all the latest updates, that's available as well on Windows 10 computers.
There you go. What's up there, Steven? I'm definitely demon-filled. Hey, gotta watch out for the demons. They seem to be everywhere. Yeah, demon pigs.
Like copperheads?
I grew up with all this satanic panic nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's been in everything. It's been in music. It's been in cartoons. It's been in all kind of different stuffed animals or whatever you want to call them. Whatever it is. And then lately we've had beer cans, candy, mermaids. everything's got demons in it. Just all the fun stuff seems to have demons in it. So I guess the demons like to have fun.
And don't forget, they're also they also talk about things having spirits. Like for a while there, a friend of mine, and I can't believe I tolerated this kind of bullcrap, would talk about like the spirit of sickness, or the spirit of a head cold, or the spirit of this, and I'm you have to refuse demons. So like I'm trying to get a cold, but I'm refusing it. You know, in other words, I'm going to pray away my head cold, or I'm going to cast out this spirit of my, it gets down to such mundane things, and also things that are explained scientifically, and people are trying to make something mystical out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, Quasar. Dropped the Bible at 9, The Age of Reason, plus I received a massive book on the cosmos, and the Bible was put in the bin. Yeah, see, it's how you take it, as I grew up learning science and magic and all the different things people believe in, and all the things that were coming and going in the 70s and 80s. You had all these different ideas of the crystals and the pyramids and all down the list of all these things that were going to cure what ails you. And there seems to be maybe a little bit of a resurgence of all that lately. Maybe the internet, helps all that. Obviously, churns stuff back around and around. But yeah, that was my understanding. It's one of the verses from the Bible is, when I became a man, I put away childish ways, right? And that was just my understanding, that you reached a certain age and then you moved on to other things. And, we were going to concerts and we had cars and parties and all that, and then you moved on to, okay, now you start to settle down again. You get your own wife, your own kids. And then it would go back to, okay, you find a church and you go on Sundays, which is, what my parents did. I don't think either one of my parents went to church regularly before they had kids, So it was something you did, right? But other than that, yeah. And my parents, my mother said that she wanted me to finish confirmation because you need a place to be married and buried in. And to her credit, I did have first dibs on getting married in the church, and it's a really nice older stone church and everything. And we had a nice wedding there and everything. So after that, though, I didn't really go back, and my parents never pressured me to. That was in 8th grade, I believe. So that was that. Again, it was a cultural thing.
Yeah, as a young fellow, I wish I had grown up with a little more respect for the religious, or at least the symbolism of religion and what it tries to address, in its way. Like, I really wish that we'd had a comparative religion course where I would have found out about not only Protestant Christianity and some of the evangelical influences of our local community, but Buddhism and Islam and Hinduism and Taoism and a lot of the other isms. But that kind of thing, I mean, a fundamentalist society, like ours was even back in the 70s and 80s, just wouldn't tolerate that. The thing about fundamentalism and even the broader conservative Christianity is showing the world in context is really a bad thing for them, because it means people will have other thoughts and might leave them. They're going to leave us, and we have to control all these people. Oh, no. They're all good because the demons are out there, and so it's cultish. And what we have is I don't know if it's growing, but we have a lot of people who have grown up with a low information and low access to outside views, and just a fear of other viewpoints. Everybody has to be a cookie cutter and think alike, or you're not really one of us. And so therefore a lot of people were deprived of knowing about the greater world and the greater cultures that are out there.
And they have to set up an enemy, right? It's always looking for the enemy out there, always the enemy, and it's like when you start.
I don't know who said it, but the thing that gets floated around a lot is the biggest lie or the biggest trick that Satan ever pulled was convincing people that he doesn't exist. Talk about your closed thinking. I mean, that's the kind of thinking traps, language traps that they try to get you into. Is, oh my gosh, if I start thinking that Satan doesn't exist, that means he does exist, and I'm possessed by Satan. Oh my goodness. Once again, religion is a cult. I don't care what religion you're in, because it relies on low information and
we try to demonstrate that several times a week now. And speaking of, I have to check the date, but we're pretty close to 1 year of Saturday Night at the Atheist coming up here. I think it's the first week of September or something like that. So we've been looking at videos there every Saturday at 5 Eastern, and then to hang out with some of the folks during the week a little later in the evening, again for late nighters, West Coasters, and my friends in other countries that are on the other way, not like Brainless and Simos, but the ones that go the other way. So we can say howdy to y'all and take a look at some of these shorts. The first one tonight was a little bit long, but usually we look at the shorts here on the Night Watch. And Scott's hanging out with me. Mike had to drop out because, you know what? Sometimes you just have to drop out for some toast.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
So Mike went to enjoy his toast, and Simos is the other way, so it's late for him. So Simos dropped out. Get some rest, Simos. It's always good to see you, though. But Scott's an hour behind, so it's still early for him.
That's right. I'm just so glad for that extra hour.
And I'm looking over here. I think I got something else fun for the end of the evening here. We'll bounce back to the pyramids for a minute. I saw something here. Egyptian pyramids explained in the Bible in a minute. All right. Sounds good to me.
The 3 pyramids of Giza seem to be directly designed and built to reflect the Orion belt of star clusters.
Okay. It could be. All right. Well, what else to say? Okay. All right. What's next?
So here we have the Bible and God literally explaining the root of the ancient Egyptian pyramids and why they were built. The question still remains, how are they built and who helped them, which is an interesting topic that we could talk about.
Wait a minute. What happened to the root in the Bible? What? I hear that again.
Bible and God literally explaining the root of the ancient Egyptian pyramids.
The root of the ancient Egyptian pyramids. What's the root?
Maybe the Tower of Babel. Maybe that's the root. Maybe the Egyptians copied them. I don't know. I would love for them to mention a Bible verse or chapter, or just summarize a story from the Bible.
Okay. There's a root. Anybody know what the root is? Somebody talking about Bigfoot. Bigfoot will have to travel 20,000 kilometers. What? That's way too long for Bigfoot. Hold on, what am I missing?
He's got long legs. He might make it.
Sadly, Bigfoot will now visit you in your dreams and tell you about the best cup. Okay. Because Jester said, all right, so Bigfoot had to travel. I got what you're talking about.
If you're going to talk about the best cup of coffee, you better bring a sample. That's all I'm saying.
Quasar's in Australia too. Hey, well, good to have you here from all the way in Australia.
Brothers down under.
And Yowie, maybe. Australia has the Yahoo, I believe.
And why they were built. The question still remains, how are they built and who helped them, which is an interesting topic that we could talk about another time. Additionally, it confirms the mysticism, the magic, the belief systems, the practices, the culture of the day that is, assumed to be taught by the fallen angels. So whether you believe...
Oh, okay. They learned how to stack rocks from the fallen angels.
Too many people have been watching that. I keep wanting to say Kevin Costner. Who is it? Who played Noah in that ridiculous movie? He played. He played Gladiator too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Old fart memory block here.
Anyway.
And by the way, this is more than 2/3 of the way done, and they still haven't shared a Bible verse or story with us.
No, not yet.
Russell Crowe, thank you, Jester.
Yeah,
man, I'm an old man. I'm an old man. Forgetting names that I can normally.
It's not that you forget what they were talking about in the paper I was reading. Is that it's because you have more stuff in your head the older you get.
Well, that could be.
So when older folks say, "Give me a minute," and then they remember, it's just because we got more shit up here in our head, and you made me cuss.
Yeah, and a movie's not quite as important as maybe real people in your life, theoretically.
So I'm not okay because of these things. Some of these things in the Bible, it explains the pyramids' root. I haven't connected it yet.
The roots of the pyramids are in the Bible. Okay.
Yeah.
They were taught by the fallen angels and Satan. We can debate that. However, it's still clear, according to Job, according to God, according to the Bible, that those practices were taught some way, somehow, right? And there's things out there that give us the explanation, including the Bible, first as our foundation, as to where they came from.
Who were these giants? And
okay.
I don't know.
People today I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. No, I wasn't talking to you. Go ahead.
There's so much going on that I must have missed the Bible verse that she's talking about.
I know. It's one thing about the YouTube. It jumps right to the... Are you going to go back now? Hold on. Come on.
The 3 pyramids of Giza seem to be directly designed and...
First of all, I don't hear it as Giza. I understand it to be Giza.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's what I've always heard.
So I don't think you've ever heard of these things before.
Built to reflect the Orion belt of star clusters.
Okay, and that's fine. Ancient people did these things, and they supposedly, they're lined up with some stars. I've heard this plenty of times, and sure, okay, fine, all right.
So here we have the Bible and God literally explaining the root of the ancient Egyptian pyramids. And
all right, now you got me curious. What is the root of the ancient pyramids? Giza. The pyramids were built as tombs, right? We know that.
Yeah,
Pyramids,
pharaohs.
but rather on bedrock. Yeah, I know that. See, that's something they learned about bedrock too. If you see some of the ones that sunk into the sand, yeah, you don't want to do that. Nothing about a root. Don't know where a root is supposed to be. Well, my finger's getting tired of scrolling. I don't see any root. So what? I don't know. Maybe I'll add in the Bible. In the Bible. The pyramids are not directly mentioned in the Bible, nor is there evidence to support the claim the Israelites built them. Okay, well, don't know what the root is. Folks, we can't find no root. Sir Equinox, any alignment could just be coincidence. Sure. But I'll grant it. A lot of things were lined up with, the sun, the moon, the stars, and people used it to find a way around and navigate and everything. So, yeah, I'll grant it. One way or another doesn't really matter. It was a long time ago.
The thing that she said about Orion's belt, or the stars in Orion, was a theory proposed by a Robert Bauval in the 1980s, in 1989, in fact, and he basically was saying that the pyramids aligned with Orion's belt as it was viewed 10,500 BC, which is far earlier than the periods where pyramids were actually constructed. Of course, I don't know that it's ever been confirmed that that Orion was so optimally aligned back in 10,000 BC. So, anyway, it's a controversial and fringe kind of statement that she made from the start.
That's what I see. That they're roughly aligned, and they could have been aligned at some time.
Well, from this
it could have just been it could have just been a religious thing.
Yeah.
It is similar to the pattern of Orion's belt. It's not a perfect match.
Right.
And whether this alignment was intentional or coincidental remains a topic. Okay, but it doesn't matter because it's not a perfect match. Okay.
And we show the Bible verse, but she didn't do it.
I'm not getting a Bible verse though. Well, AI, Google, all y'all. As far as we can tell, there's no root, and
yeah, the only thing I could
about the pyramids
is that how the Tower of Babel was supposed to be allegedly a ziggurat,
right?
Nineveh or some place like that, and
a pyramid.
That was a pyramid. It was a step pyramid, but they're saying, of course, if they're thinking it was in 10,000 BC. Of course, the problem is the pyramids of Giza are not that old, but maybe they think it is. Those people, but yeah. So,
okay. Now, what was next?
And why they were built. The question still remains.
It doesn't say why they were built. No. Nope. Okay. So up to that point, 19 seconds. No. Okay.
How are they built and who helped them, which is an interesting topic that we could talk.
How they were built and who helped them. We pretty much know how they were built. It's only people that follow, Hancock and some of these other folks.
In the movie.
Yeah, but otherwise, and it's not, again, it's not just in Egypt, as we've tried to point out. There are pyramids in other places, like South America, on the other side of the world, that figured out the same thing. You can't go vertical without steel frame. Just, I don't know what the limit is, but you can only go so many stories before you need, either the pyramid shape or you need steel infrastructure or some kind of, something holding it all together. The rock itself, what is it? The fatigue or the failure point or whatever, right? It can't hold itself up. It has to be reinforced, period. And then look what happened when they came along with steel. Skyscrapers everywhere. And none of them got knocked down for being too tall and trying to reach to heaven or anything, which are way taller. Yeah, way taller than that.
They had to build in flexibility for the wind to move them around.
Right. Yeah, that they were going for the title of world's tallest buildings.
Yeah.
And it's going around the world, and they get to a certain point, then they stick a great big tower on top just so they can be another foot taller and another foot. But yeah, they were I forgot what the show was, but they showed the amount of sway that they have to have engineered into them when they get that tall. It's pretty amazing that that's what the engineers do, I guess, right? So good on them for figuring that stuff out. It's pretty amazing. And then what else did she say?
Talk about another time. Additionally, it confirms the mysticism, the magic, the belief systems, the practices.
How do the pyramids confirm mysticism and magic? No, they don't.
Since they're oriented according to Orion, then it shows that mystical.
But they're really not. So it can't be that, because
I don't know.
If they are in contact with the spirits and they're giving them the wrong place on the ground to build the pyramid, then they blew it, or they are worthless, or they don't exist.
The culture of the day that is, that is assumed to be taught by the fallen angels. So whether you believe they were taught by the...
Who's done the assuming?
Then it was the fallen angels had to teach these people how to build the pyramids, which again, it doesn't make any sense. They were built as tombs. It's pretty well understood. And even if they aren't people in some of the tombs, there's a reason why there's nobody in those tombs. Like they did a lot of grave robbing. But it's not hard to understand, especially, to show the smaller things where, folks just have a small burial, and they put the rocks, you know what I mean? And of course the king or some would want a big, huge pile of rocks.
Yeah.
And that's what they got.
Got to have the biggest pile of rocks. That's the most beautiful pile of rocks. It's a strong pile of rocks.
It's painted all gold and and then of course, like Scott said, there's ziggurats and all these are all different, again, forms of building as high as you could get without having a steel structure. And the stones, whether you do it the nice pyramids or the stage pyramids, the step pyramids, all the different types of pyramids, there's a reason that all these civilizations around the world used pyramids. They didn't have steel. Now, what would have been amazing is if the fallen angels would have said, hey, you know what? If you put a steel beam inside there, you can build it twice as high.
That would have been amazing.
That's not in the Bible, is it? No. Is that in any of the mysticism?
Yeah, get
No.
some of that carbon over there and mix it with some of this iron, and let's make some steel girders.
Not that hard. It's not that hard to forge steel if you have the recipe, right? You just need a big cauldron, and you cook it up, and yeah, you could get steel. Come on now. So if I grant the Bible and the mysticism and the God and all the divine wisdom, where did it get anybody? Absolutely nowhere, because they didn't give them the secret of steel.
That's right. Steel.
You need the secret of steel, or you will be cast out of Valhalla.
Isn't that from Conan the Barbarian, The Secret of Steel?
Oh, Conan, that's right. Crom will ask you, do you know the secret of steel? And you must answer it to get into, I think it's Valhalla, isn't it?
I don't know. Right. I don't know what it was. For them.
Something like that, yeah.
Fallen angels and Satan, we can debate
Fallen angels and Satan
and
taught them how to build pyramids. This doesn't make any sense.
However, it's still clear, according to Job, according to God, according to the Bible, that those practices were taught some way, somehow, right?
Some way, somehow.
According to Job?
According to Job.
Okay, I don't know where in Job she's talking about.
Well, let's see. Let's see. The Bible. Job. Fallen angels. In the book of Job, the figure of Satan appears as the sons of God. The Bible does not specifically state they are fallen angels. Sons of God in Job is returned to angels, but it doesn't specify. Which is a Satan in the book is a fallen angel, but it's not stated in the text. Okay, doesn't seem to be in the Bible. This is just how people seem to read it. Huh, imagine that.
Okay, Job 1:6, there's a reference to who are the sons of God. And in there are a reference to the sons of God, but that's not necessarily fallen angels. I mean, it could be interpreted as so many other things.
There's another hill huggers here from down under, building a natural stone retaining wall, keeping maximum height to around 3 feet with a slight lean back into the hill. Sounds lovely. I heard James Apperson was mulching today and spiffing up his property there, and yeah.
Mulching is a fine pursuit.
Yeah, the riddle of steel. That's right. You gotta know the riddle of steel. They think they're gonna walk up and they're gonna pull out this scroll and check it. Heck no. You gotta answer the riddle of steel. You better be prepared. Good to see you, Hill Hugger. Sounds like a nice project. Stop the Stupidity wants to know, I thought all the fallen angels were locked up in hell except for the devil. You know, that's not you can't get a straight story, right? Supposedly the angels rebelled and Satan rebelled, but yet they do God's bidding by punishing his enemies. Well, that doesn't make any sense. And then it's all the angels are different species, and there's like they all have different jobs and they all do different things. So like different ones are controlling all these things, but then the demons mess it all up because somehow the demons can outsmart the angels that are actually running everything, which doesn't make any sense because at this whole time God just lets this go on. That could just took away their powers or something, you'd think.
Yeah.
But you have to have this spiritual battle going on here because otherwise the believers don't believe or something if all these things aren't fighting these spiritual battles all the time that God seems to be amused by, and goes on and on and on, and it's like none of that angel stuff makes any sense other than an angel's a messenger of God. That's the only explanation I ever understood that makes any sense. I guess that doesn't make any sense either. Why does God need a messenger?
Right.
Is people that I guess you'd call them prophets without even needing messenger, really.
Well, I've heard it talked about that a lot of these angels that you encounter in the Old Testament might have been previously thought of as gods, but due to the reforms of Josiah and the priesthood after that, as they were putting together the Old Testament, they kind of demoted them to angels, so that you could have that monotheistic, or actually henotheistic approach to Yahweh, where He is the one God above all. And we have these angels who used to be known as gods are now the messengers for either for good in league with Yahweh, or for evil, as opposed to other gods, and then of course the demons and spirits.
It all gets too complicated. All right, I got one more, and we're gonna call it a night. So this one sounds interesting to me, and I try to find an interesting one to wrap things up. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Scott hanging out with me, Mike was here, Simos was here, everybody in the chat that's been here. I see a lot of great folks have been stopping in, and I hope we helped you out while you're doing your projects or however you're spending your day. I know sometimes some of the folks tune in from work and everything, and I always appreciate everybody stopping by. And I also looked and I saw, hi Tori, welcome back. Yeah, Tori there often, I believe, rides home listening to us, and that's always cool. I forgot what I was going to say. Hey, it's good to see you, Tori. What was I going to say? I don't know. Let me look over here. Okay. No. Okay, it'll come to me. Anyway. Shoot. No, it was something. Anyways. Look for all of us that was, except for Brainless, that was gathered here tonight. We'll be here Saturday for Saturday Night the Atheist, where we take a look at some videos as well. Gather as atheists, and the Night Watch is for folks in different time zones. And I do notice some of the different people that can stop by, so that's really cool. And the folks from, they're like, 3 people from Australia? That's just way cool. That's just cool, we're all talking. It's just so cool, isn't it, Scott?
Kind of brings the world together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You're like an international mover and shaker, Dave.
Yeah, I know. It's really cool. So, Fox says, I'm at work and just got the news that I'm here for another 24 hours. Yay. Yeah, I passed on a job one time where you had to cover the following shift because the shifts were 12 hours. And I'm like, now, wait a minute. If I have to do 12 and do another 12 and then do my 12, that's 36 hours.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna do that. But for the folks that do it, there are folks got to do it. What you got to do. Luckily, I found other employment. But there are places like that. You have to cover the shift. It's like, man, that's baloney. That's what you're supposed to have a manager and stuff for, right? Okay. Well, anyways, I can't remember what I was going to say, but it doesn't really matter. I know what I was going to say. See, I knew it would come to me. Aha. See? It takes us old folks a minute.
That's right.
I noticed there was a bunch of new subscribers and some new members, and I wanted to give you all a shout out. Thank you very much for subscribing and becoming members. And we say around here, for any and all that kind of support for the channel, See, I just had to go back to my roots and think Bigfoot. And of course, Bigfoot gives a shout out. You all rock. And yeah, I appreciate the memberships and, you know, getting closer to 600 on the subscribers. Pretty cool. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody stopping in. It's the Ohio weather getting to you. Yes. Let me tell you what, and my garden and everything, and my wife was talking about her flowers too, with all the heat and the weird weather that, yeah, they're not growing right. My pepper plants are usually nice and bushy about now with peppers hanging all over them. They've only got the few stems. I told my wife, all the heat, the plants are even, they go into restricting mode, you know what I mean? They don't grow all crazy. They kind of stay a little smaller. And, man, and then, yeah, I was telling the guys earlier, trying to do this work on the garage and stuff, and we got one thing done. I said, that's enough for today. It was just so hot, and the humidity, and it's just been so tough to even do stuff or just even enjoy being outside. We've had a couple events, had the grill out and everything. We're sitting at the picnic table, and yeah, after a few, you want to go back into the air conditioning, and it's just and I like being outside, but it's been really brutal. So yeah, not real happy about Ohio's weather this year, Tori. I must say. But not much I can do about it. And as far as doing the projects, we're trying to space things out, trying to move into the cooler weather a little bit. But yeah, I did want to get, you want to get started because there's things to do before you even want to do the big stuff. So doing all that prep work. But yeah, you go outside for even an hour or so and try to do anything. And Scott was saying as well, yeah, you realize real quick, just that little bit of exertion, going up and down the ladder and stuff. And next thing you know, you're soaked in sweat. You can't see and everything. It's just, it's brutal. Been kicking your butt too? Yeah, it has. It's just, and I understand some hot days, but you need some days mixed in where you can just enjoy being outside, enjoy the summer and everything. And we've had very little of it. We went right from cooler weather right into a heat wave. It wasn't any spring. There hasn't really been any summer. And Scott said himself, usually going outside with the grandkids playing in the pool, you can't even enjoy that because he's roasting in the sun, So, yeah, it's just not fair. Dang it. Give us some nice days, please. And so one more thing. All right, yeah, I got it. Okay. So let's finish out with this one here.
Can't wait.
This guy says that this proves evolution is demonic. Sounds good to me.
Demonic, because there's demons in them little genes.
Yeah, we got to flesh out all these demons. We've heard a lot about demons tonight. We joke about demons, and they seem to be everywhere and in everything. So watch out for the demons, folks. And yeah, I guess
the D in DNA means demon.
Oh, they're there too? Jeez.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I was safe getting rid of my Smurfs, but I guess not.
I never noticed how demonic the theory of evolution in the Big Bang Theory is.
Me neither. You know why? Because that's nonsense. There are no demons. And quit seeing demons and everything, because you're seeing demons and everything, because you're seeing it in evolution and the Big Bang. You need to get a grip, my guy. You really need to get a grip.
Are you
Until I read.
What's that?
Are you taking your medication? You're seeing.
I don't think so. What are you seeing in your phone? Oh, that's my reflection. Demons.
This one Bible verse. It comes from Psalms chapter 95. And it says in verse 3, For the Lord is a great God and a great King above all gods. In his hands are the deep places of the earth. The strength of the hills is also his. The sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord.
I don't think he's going to get back to evolution or the Big Bang.
Yeah. And where's that demon? I'm waiting for that demon to pop its head out and go boo or something.
Okay. Come on. Come back.
Our maker. So right there, it says that when you acknowledge that God made everything and you see it in his creation, it leads to worship. But the devil came to kill, steal, and destroy. And so just like in heaven, he's trying to steal worship by what? Not acknowledging the connection between God and his creation, by stealing his glory. So this is why evolution and the Big Bang Theory is complete garbage.
No, because somebody made the argument, I've heard it many times, that if life on this planet is how we understand it through biology and genetics and all these things, is that it's a process of evolution. So a lot of your theologians, I think even William Craig, will say, okay, well, there was evolution, but at some point, spiritual people came along or something like that. But you can't deny that evidence. So if there's a God using this process, then it's not denying God, or it's not demonic or anything like that. It's how God did it. And as Sean McDowell was just saying earlier, he can change the definition, I think he said, of Genesis to accommodate the Big Bang, because as Scott and I explained, it's completely backwards in the Bible. It's planet first, stars, and you have to have Big Bang first, and then stars, and then planets. It's completely backwards. So I don't see demonic in the Big Bang is God creating the universe, as in the minds of many Christians now, is how God did it. So neither one of them's demonic. I don't know where you're getting demonic from it. This is granting your God did it. I'm not arguing with you that your God did it. Your God did it. Okay,
It was
fine.
just all clickbaity.
But it seems clear that it was by evolution and with the Big Bang. And even creationists will point out that Christians do science to better understand God and stuff like that, right, Scott?
That's what they will say. They want to know the nature of God through his creation.
Yeah. So that's not demonic either. And a lot of, the church itself, has done science. It's got the telescope and everything there at the Vatican, and other religions pride themselves on having schools and hospitals and stuff like that, which I ain't got nothing against. They're doing good for people, religion's for another day, right? But these things are not demonic or anything. They're, again, if God gave, and I'm granting you all this. If God gave you the medicines or the heart surgery catheters and, all these great things to use, then I don't see how any of it can be demonic if you believe in God, because isn't God giving you all these things? It seems that if you had a loved one that was in some dire straits and they could give them a metaphorical pill and they were all better, praise God, right? The prayers would ring out. Amen. Thank you very much. I don't think anything demonic would come up. Now, if you go back a few thousand years, it might just be demons. And here it's not demons. You just needed this pill, and it takes care of it. You're all cured, right? Metaphorically, in Minecraft. So, I don't know, my dude. you see demons in everything. And I'm seeing it from your point, right? Okay, your God did it. And still it doesn't get you anywhere of denying the science or somehow making it demonic to scare people that don't know any better. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to start giving coaching classes on theists making better videos. I think I can give you, I think I can give some tips on how the theists could make better videos, because these ones are really big. Hey, Bob, how you doing? They're really terrible. And Fox, how you doing? Yeah, I think I could coach them on how to make a lot better, at least a decent argument, something that is coherent and makes sense or something. I don't know. These sure don't do it. And just saying it's demons just to scare people, I don't know. Should I have a problem with it? I think I have a problem.
Yeah, it's trying to use manipulation and control tactics.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Misinformation, rule by fear.
Yeah, I might have to agree that. We're gonna say that. There we go. We're gonna have to say that. Yeah, that's not cool using the fear thing. And
put a flag on the play.
I kind of laughed off the exorcism thing again with a caveat. I mentioned that, obviously a lot of these people need other kinds of help. Right?
Yeah.
But as far as the pushing that con too, I think I got to have a problem with that. Now, see, these are the things that I got to have a problem with. It's not that you're believing in something. It's these kind of things that. It's just not right. You shouldn't do these. You shouldn't take advantage of these people. That's going way over the line. I mean, I understand kicking in the plate to keep the lights on, but I don't understand kicking in the plate so the pastor can drive a Lamborghini.
Right.
So. That's where we start to speak out, right? Again, why don't we speak out about a lot of religions? Because they're not bothering anybody. But I wouldn't put it past a smaller religion that got big and powerful enough to not start bothering people, because it seems that's what happens. So don't get in these big organizations. They seem to be all trouble, every one of them. Tell me one of these that aren't trouble, right? And the small ones too can be trouble, but yeah.
If they start talking about spirits and demons and head colds and if you're different from me, you somehow have a demon, then get out of there. Just get out. See, I just think that's an attractive creature from an alien environment.
When you see demons everywhere, I guess you see them everywhere. Because when I look around, I don't see demons everywhere. I see this, and I think it's truly amazing. And
I think
can be in awe.
Bernie Sanders is looking young.
Yeah, I can be in awe of it, and all those. Oh, where's the other? It's supposed to be. No, it's not that one. There's the one I want. all the things that people get from supposedly from God, it's like, there's plenty of awe and wonder and everything that we can get from understanding science, which again we can say, isn't that what the Christians were out to do as well, was do science to understand God's world? And they do take some do deny some things. We won't talk about that, but most people, Christian or not, theist or not, agnostic or not, wherever you are, if you get a pain bad enough, you know where you go? To the emergency room.
To your herbalist.
No, the herbalist goes to the emergency room. Benny Hinn had chest pains. He ran to the emergency room. Okay,
I thought he was too righteous and full of faith.
Heck, no, he isn't.
I thought you could pray the power of God to heal him.
Ray Comfort, who's Dirty Slimer, told people with certain things wrong with them. I don't want to get medical or anything like that, especially in Minecraft. But Ray Comfort told people just to pray things away. When Ray Comfort said, "Oh, my side hurts," and he had some kind of stones, there he is taking pictures in the hospital. And it's like, you didn't pray it away? Heck no, you didn't. You went to the hospital. And if you have aches and pains, and that's when you go to the hospital. And please go to the hospital, because that's why we have hospitals. All right. And don't forget my fellow cockroaches. Being a cockroach isn't all bad. They're just survivors. They're amazing survivors.
And nicely dressed.
Yeah. So quit ragging on the cockroaches. Thanks everybody for joining us. And don't forget, tomorrow Mike is going to be on with Dr. Dan at Creation Myths, talking about chromosome 2 fusion, and he's been doing a lot of work on that, and I imagine Scott will probably be over there. And otherwise, Scott, we'll find Scott out by the pool with his grandkids
whenever possible.
And do you even have anything on your channel, Scott?
Nah. No, the only videos I ever made were private. It was just me playing songs for my grandkids.
Oh, okay.
On YouTube.
Yeah. But Scott has plenty of content because he hangs out with us. He hangs out with Mike and Simos, and I know you've been some other places too. So, hopefully we're going to get Scott on Neil's channel, because you should go on Neil's channel, Scott. You've got a good story to tell.
Well, maybe that'll work out some way.
Yeah, I think you should go on and tell everybody your story, and it'll be immortalized in the internet, so to speak, for all of time.
Yeah, that sounds ominous.
Hey, it was great hanging out with everybody. I do enjoy hanging out with everybody. Hope you had a good time checking out these bad videos. And we're out of here. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody. See you.
Under the moon where shadows play, a channel lights the calm relay. Stories unfold in the softest sound. In the night watch, we're tightly bound. A cozy vibe whispers through the stream, like drifting slow inside a dream. Conversations linger late and free. The night watch is the place to be. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. A laugh, a thought, a quiet tale. The night breathes slow, we set our sail. Through every chat and every laugh we weave a stream, a timeless path. Stay while the stars are bright, each word a spark that paints the night. Connection deep, it soars and sings. In this space, the heart takes wings. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home.